that was a bit.
Mission accomplished.
I know. I didn't even have to say anything this time, and I fucked it up. That's setting a new precedent.
Let's fuck up the intro. Shit, I already did it. Done. Hey, Kato. Hey, Ursik. Hey, Pache. How y'all doing?
Hey.
Welcome, everyone. I'm not the host, but I'm greeting everyone anyway.
That's fine. Yeah, that's what we do. We're both co-hosts. Co-host everything. Mostly.
Yeah.
How's everyone doing? Welcome. Headshot.
Headshot.
Kato, everyone. I love you guys. How you doing? Thank you for that sub. 15 months. That's like a record.
Having a party.
For me, yeah. That's great. Thank you, Arsik. I've been Metroid pilled. That's fair. Welcome to episode 11 of the Cold Topic Podcast. I am one of your hosts, or the co-host. Here I have with me Sacrabalic. You're on.
Welcome.
Borderlands 3 and 464 thing. Guess we ain't live yet. What's
oh shit! Someone better tell me that.
Oh well, we are live. Superman 64. Definitely. I just extended another 30 days. So let's get into recap. That's what we like to do. So what have you been up to this last month?
Well, so it's been pretty fucking rough for me, if I do say so myself. Got sent to the hospital for heart problems. Probably developed an ulcer, and then my declining health problems have caused what my therapist is calling moderate to severe anxiety, where I have no appetite, I've lost 10 pounds, and I have a panic attack somewhere between every day to every hour now.
Wow.
So that was fucking great. That went well for me. As for like stream stuff, I have we finished Persona 4 Arena Ultimax.
Finally.
The longest game we played since Final Fantasy VII. This fucker took, and I'm somehow not joking, 10 goddamn streams. It took longer to get through that fucker than it took to get through fucking P5 Strikers. It was so long. It was so grueling. It was a fucking nightmare. I'm glad it's done. Then we went on to Pache's viewer request, Echo Knight 2, The Lord of Nightmare, the fan-translated version, because the original's in Japanese, and we actually beat it. Not as good as the original Echo Knight. Coming up, we've got the 3 God of Wars on PS3. So we'll finally be doing the PS3 stuff. We'll finally be getting done with that, and I can never touch that shit again, though. And no episodes of Water came out, but there is one that I just need to record the audio on the final anime, and I have an intended release day for it. So it's not out right now, but it is coming out probably next week. I'm going to say next week, Saturday.
Awesome.
But we'll talk more about what that episode will be about later in the podcast.
Billy Doki.
So what about you? What have you been up to?
Well, over the last month, I've been periodically streaming and then periodically not streaming. Unfortunately, work and some other issues have come about. It's been really weird. I've been in a really, really bad creative slump last month. Started working on a video. I got halfway through it and then just stopped streaming altogether for whatever reason. I don't know. But I'm excited because coming back tomorrow, what I'm dubbing Digimonth.
Oh, okay.
The month of Digimon games. Because there are a lot I haven't played, and a lot of them have finally got some good old fan translations, so I can play some solid ones. We're gonna start off with Digimon Adventure on PSP. English, and it tells the entire story of the first season Digimon and the Japanese version of the movie, American version, and it's or whatever. So that's what we're gonna be doing over the next month. I'm excited to do that. I'm sure I'm not the person who's coined Digimonth, but I'm gonna say that I did. That's totally mine.
Digibro might have done it first.
Fuck. No, I thought I had something there. I was like, you know what if we just put that TH on the end? What if we do that? And that is that's where that came about.
No. You definitely didn't.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I figured that I wasn't gonna be the first one. But...
Definitely did it. Yeah, I'm just looking through like listings. Maybe 2017, just from a cursory glance.
Yeah. Well, I'm W the first ConquertheJohn Digimonth.
Which is probably accurate.
Yeah, there you go. See? It's all about verbiage. All about the verbiage.
I have a Digimon game on the queue now. Thanks, Mac Tier.
Which one?
And that would be Digimon World Next Order.
Oh, which is funny because I just bought that yesterday.
I'm so thrilled.
That one's actually, I liked it. It's not boring, but it has like the same kind of mechanics. I request my favorite Digimon, Leomon. I'll get you a Leomon.
I don't have a favorite Digimon.
Mine's either Tentomon or Patamon, and their evolution line.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't know what any of this is.
Fair enough. Well, get ready because you are about to jump into the world, the digital world, in fact.
Ugh.
Hee. You've never seen it. We'll talk about it later, but
I have.
You have?
Well, yeah, one of them.
Which one?
I think Frontier.
Oh my! You watched the worst one.
I liked it actually.
Really? Oof! It's like
I did. I had a very strong focus on character drama.
I also played Digimon World on PS1, and that will be one of the games that we'll be playing for Shitty Game Sunday. Not tomorrow. We're not doing Shitty Game Sunday tomorrow. We're doing Sexy Game Sunday.
I might attempt God of War tomorrow, but no promises.
But yeah, Digimon World is going on Shitty Game Sunday for the remainder of Digimonth. Yeah. All right, so let's get into our first topic.
Yeah, which is oh god. Okay, I'm worried about this one.
God of War mega stream.
It's not happening. I really was planning a mega stream for God of War, but with my health the way it is, I don't think I could get through it.
That's fair.
Fire Emblem: The Three Houses. Not the first Fire Emblem game I've ever played. Let's be clear about that. It's like the third or fourth. It's the third. I did play Path of Radiance.
It was really good.
Yeah. I also played the first English released one on the GBA. I don't remember which one that was, but I played that one also when I was young. But Fire Emblem Three Houses is an absolutely phenomenal game. Like, it is so good that if Favorite Search gets a Season 2, we're doing this game. Because it honestly would not, Blazing Blade, maybe. It honestly might be, like, top 10 favorite games of all time. Absolutely amazing. I did all 4 routes.
Jesus.
I did. It was almost 300 hours.
I was going to say, aren't they like 100 hours a piece?
Oh boy, yeah, I was fucking. It took me time. Believe me. I started with Crimson Flower, went on to Silver Snow, then did Azure Moon, and ended with Golden Deer. Crimson Flower. I don't want to like spoil it because I think it's a really good game, and I think if you have a Switch, you should probably play this fucking thing.
I would never have the time to play that.
Fair enough. Crimson Flower, I think, is my favorite route, and if we ever do it on Favorite Search, we'll be doing Crimson Flower. It's also the shortest. It probably has my like favorite cast of characters like by default inside of the house itself, because the route you're on depends on which house you choose to be a teacher of, because you're a professor in this game.
Yeah.
You play a 21-year-old professor, usually called Byleth, and you're tasked with leading one of the three houses in the Garrigmach Monastery, the Golden Deers, the Black Eagles, and the Blue Lions, I think. And depending on who you teach, depends on your starting cast of characters, but you can recruit other characters from other houses, which I did, and I recruited everyone every time. I just emptied out everyone's house. But yeah, so you end up you're a teacher, blah blah blah, and eventually, like, a war breaks out, and depending on which house you became the teacher of, and in the Black Eagle house, what choice you make in the mid game, it decides like what side of the war you fall on. So there's like 4 sides of the war in general. There's the Knights of Saros, the Empire, the Kingdom, and the Alliance. Crimson Flower was my favorite route because it had my favorite cast of characters, and it was probably the side I side with more like ideologically, perhaps.
Yeah.
But the problem with Crimson Flower is that it's like 4 chapters shorter than everyone else. And I think the problem is that, like, with the actual final boss of the game, I think they like couldn't figure out how to keep going.
Like,
I like because you know, have you played Halo 2, right?
Yes.
You get to the end and like Master Chief's on the ship descending to Earth, and it's like, Master Chief, what are you doing? Finishing this fight, and then it rolls credits.
Yeah.
That's the end of Crimson Flower.
I like it.
It's like you defeat the like final boss of the game, and you look to Edelgard, and Edelgard's like, okay, now let's finish this fight, and then the credits roll, and you get an epilogue, and it's like, and then they finished the fight, and it was really cool, and I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, I didn't want to like do that on screen or anything.
I bet it was real cool. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm sure it was real. Thanks for telling me it was real cool and that we did it. I would have loved to have fucking played it. You want to know the most baffling part about that decision, John?
What's that?
The enemy that you defeat, that you're told you defeat at the end of the epilogue, is in the fucking game. Because it's the final boss of another round.
Okay.
He's in the game. The levels doesn't like. I think they like got it in their heads that they didn't want to repeat too much in part 2 of the game.
Yeah.
And I think that actually bit them in the ass, because it means that Crimson Flower has like sort of a shaky ending. Like, it finishes off screen. I'm not really a fan of it. I'm all on board the ride up till that point, and then right at the end, it's like, and then you beat the enemy off screen, and it's like, cool, I guess.
Sure.
Then I did Silver Snow, which is also a Black Eagle route, but it's you choose to side against Edelgard at the midpoint. And that one's okay. It's very like going your own way kind of thing. It's like the Yes Man route in like New Vegas. It's like, this is your route. You're in charge now. Like, you end up as like the ruler of everyone in that one. It's okay. I think it's probably my 3rd favorite of the 4 routes. Then I did Azure Moon, which is when you side with the Blue Eagle, the Blue Lions, specifically Dimitri, who I really wish swapped names with Claude, because Dimitri looks like a Claude and Claude looks like a Dimitri, but whatever. I didn't name the fucking characters. And this one is my least favorite route in general, because you have to put up with Dimitri, who is very clearly having a severe, like, schizophrenic break the entire time. Like, he clearly has, like, if you actually, like, and I did this to make sure I wasn't talking about ass. Like, if you look at the symptoms of schizophrenia, I genuinely believe Dimitri is, like, severely schizophrenic. He is an asshole. He's literally dangerous to himself and others. He sees voices. He hallucinates people. I'm not a fan. I know a lot of people really like that one. It definitely focuses on Dimitri and, like, trying to help him with his bullshit, but I'm not super into that. Yeah, I was not a fan of Azure Moon. Also, I can't help but feel like at the end of Azure Moon, you don't really solve the world's problems because it's the only route where you don't defeat the Agarthans. So, and then I did Golden Deer, which is probably my second most favorite route. It's the most complete one as far as taking the war to the enemies, because you actually see on screen the enemies get defeated, and you get to do them. And Claude's kind of cool. I had it like. He seems sort of like a slime ball at the beginning, and he's a little slimy, but he's just like an upstanding guy. Like, I like him all right. So I'd say Golden Deer is probably my second favorite route. And I would almost say it probably feels like the most complete route. I would definitely recommend Golden Deer for a first playthrough, is what I would say. Like, if I was to say, which one do I start with? Probably start with Golden Deer. Those are the three routes. Now, because I played it multiple times and I did New Game Plus every time, my version of Byleth had all versions of the class mastered and all stats maxed out. And the way New Game Plus works is you can use Renown to buy stat points. So if I ever want, I can just max out my Byleth whenever I start a new playthrough. Just all the way. Everything, all classes, all stats.
Pretty convenient.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Super good shit.
In my Azure Moon route, though, which was my least favorite one, but the gameplay wasn't the reason for it. I did do something dastardly, something devilish. I did a challenge run for that one. I beat the entire game with just the main character.
Okay. Okay.
I did a Byleth solo run for that one.
That sounds like fun.
At the beginning, it was fucking rough. Let me tell you. At the beginning, I kept having to reload because I kept dying. But by the end of the game, let me tell you, when you defeat thousands of enemies with one character, when you get to the end of the game, you are like a god. Like an enemy ran up to me and it just died instantly. It's a lethal fucking weapon.
You are like buzzing of flies to me.
Yeah, I love the casts of the game. I did a tier list of my favorite characters. Love Edelgard, love Bernie, but surprise hit came out on this one. Didn't expect this character to be my favorite character. Lorenz, I think Gautier. Lorenz is my favorite character. He shows up and he's got this goofy fucking bowl cut hairstyle, and he's this pompous in your face rich dude. Picture an up his own ass nobleman, right?
Yeah.
That's your impression of Lorenz, but then as you deal with him, you realize this is a really good guy. He has that pompous up his own ass style, but he's just a genuinely good and nice person. He's so fucking weird.
That's interesting.
He's such a fucking weirdo. I love him. Lorenz is my favorite character. But one character I do want to talk about that I really like is the main character, Byleth. They do something amazing with Byleth. Fire Emblem Three Houses. They do something amazing with Byleth, which is you're familiar with silent protagonists, right? Who
Yes.
You're supposed to insert yourself into the character, right? They do something with Byleth that is great. They take the silent protagonist route to an extreme point where Byleth's personality becomes that they are in fact a silent protagonist. The closest thing I can compare it to is South Park Stick of Truth, which did something similar, but it did as a sort of parody, whereas Three Houses plays it straight, and it's super interesting. So Byleth has no personality at all, and it is fucking brilliant. The character doesn't react to anything. They don't have strong opinions. They enter into the world as a blank state because your dad just did straight up not educate you at all. So you don't know shit about the world or the geography or the setting. You go to the church, you're like, what the fuck is the church? They're like, yeah, it's about the goddess. You're like, the fuck is the goddess?
I love I love a good silent protagonist. Like Zelda's one of my favorite games, and Link, all he says, "Hiya," that's all he says, and it works. Mario works. That's a very Nintendo thing.
No. Byleth is so much more than that. It's so hard. They go so hard with it. You don't understand. The character doesn't understand about countries or religion. Has a complete blank slate. Has no idea like what's going on in the world. The character has almost never visibly emotes, and like the characters are aware of how fucking weird you are because characters are like, yeah, no, honestly, I literally thought you didn't have emotions. You just stare at people. People comment on like how little you talk or emote. There's even a comment like 6 months into the game where someone's like, "I have never seen you smile. I didn't know it was possible." There's a great moment with I think it's Dorothea in one of her supports, where she comments on how you always seem so perfect and immaculate, and she's like, but everyone's got a weakness. And one of the things you can say, I love it, is like, I don't have a weakness. And she's like, I bet you do have a weakness. I bet you're ticklish. And then she tickles you, and you just stare at her. And she's like, okay, well, I guess you're not ticklish. Man, you're so cold. I bet you don't even have a heartbeat. And then you can just say like, oh, I don't have a heartbeat. And she's like, haha, and then she checks your heart rate, and she's like, oh, wow, you really don't have a heart rate. I'm joking. I don't know how you did that, though. And you find out through, like, reading your, like, father's diary that, no, you actually don't have a heart rate.
Just
Violet is actually such a fucking non-character that it doesn't have a heart rate.
Well, that's interesting.
When your character was born, you did not cry.
That's metal as fuck. Yeah.
You just got shat out. As an infant, you did not cry ever. You did not laugh. You did not smile. You had no emotions. You were just a fucking baby. Like, the way it's presented is that Violet is a non-character up until the exact moment you start playing as them.
Interesting.
You are not a person, and it is brilliant. They literally take silent protagonist so far that it becomes a personality. And I love it.
I love it. Yeah, I've been wanting. I almost bought this game last year. It was like $30, and I should have bought it but I was like, I don't think I have time to do, because like I wanted to do all of it, and I was like, I heard it's like 300 plus hours. Like, I don't think I'll ever have the time for that.
No, it's not 300 hours for it's like 300 hours for all routes.
Yeah.
If you want to play all 4 routes, which you don't necessarily have to do. And I would recommend, actually, because I did do all 4 routes in a row, I would actually recommend breaking them up. I would say, like, do things in between. Like, if I were you, I would say start with Golden Deer.
Mm-hmm.
And then, honestly, okay, how confused do you want to be?
As confused as possible. Yeah.
Okay, start with Azure Moon.
Fair enough.
Because Azure Moon explains fucking Bumkus to you. I would say start with Azure Moon, then go into Crimson Flower. And then probably, I would say probably then Golden Deer, and then Silver Snow.
Yeah, I like to enter any game as confused as possible. That's why I normally play like easy games like Mario. Like, it's a simple plot. He's a plumber. Mm-hmm. Exactly. I'm already boo.
Yeah, definitely start with Azure Moon if you want to be as confused as possible, because that route is not like any of the other routes. It has a heavy personal focus on Dimitri, and because of that, it just doesn't explain what's happening.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, a lot of like JRPG style games, like I always end up getting somewhere confused in like some point. So if I can start off confused, I feel like it would be better, you know.
There probably won't be a DDLC plus stream. Um, yeah, Azure Moon. The thing is, once you get out of Azure Moon, every route is going to explain something to you. But you have to play all 4 routes to really understand every character.
Yeah.
And like everyone's perspective, you need to get a full grasp of the war and to get a full grasp of the past. Like the only reason I know that Byleth is like 21 years old is because I did fucking math. Because the character doesn't know how old it is.
Wait, when was I born? Ah, shit, I don't
You
know.
literally don't know. Yeah.
That's
I had
crazy.
to math it out. I had to be like, okay, so mom died this year, and it's currently this year, so I have to be 21 years old.
When a game doesn't give you all the things, you gotta do it yourself.
Yes. Yeah. It's just a really good game. And like speaking of like having to play through it multiple times, I had to play through it multiple times before I like felt like I got everything. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't until like the second route that I learned a very important secret about like 2 characters, Sedith and Flame, which I don't want to like give away. But it doesn't. Yeah, it very rarely just tells you this information. You have to like work it out yourself. I thought it was interesting. So
I like games like that where it doesn't like flat out tell you like gotta do like some side quests and shit. Like,
yeah,
get some more of the world.
and then once I figured out the information on the second playthrough, when I played through the third playthrough, I noticed how certain like dates synced up with things that the character said, and I'm like, holy shit, that's brilliant. It's brilliant. The game is just straight up brilliant. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's without a doubt one of the best games I've ever played.
All right, I guess that's a play it for everyone.
Yeah. And then once I beat it after playing 300 hours, I'm like, okay, finally, I'm fucking done with this game. I can move on with my life. I think the next day, I get an email from Humble Bundle that said, hey, so you know how you wanted that Fire Emblem Three Houses DLC Cinder Shadows? Guess what we have on sale? And I'm like, God damn it! So I bought the Cinder Shadow DLC, and I beat that too.
Well, so, you weren't done with it, then now were you?
I wasn't done. Yeah, it was like, in my head, getting that email was like me like staring at it, and I could just like hear a flashback to Metal Gear Solid. Just like Liquid Snake going, it's not Snake! And I'm like, oh, Christ. So then I did Cindered Shadow. I heard Cindered Shadow wasn't connected to the main story and was off in its own universe. I tried to fit it into the main story, but the way it ends, it is just definitively not connected.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a little disappointing, but it does give you more information about your mom, at least.
That's good.
You can go to your mom's like grave in the main game, and she just doesn't have a name because fuck you. But once you beat the DLC, she has a name. For example, so now you know what your mom's name was. It's you go to the Abyss, which is like the underground area under the Garrigmach Monastery. It's established in the main game. They don't just pull that out of their ass. But you end up like helping the like exiles that live there, and you find out all of this information about like a chalice that was supposed to be used to revive the goddess, and you end up like trying to acquire this chalice. And it reminds me a lot of The Answer, because it's like a disconnected storyline, and they don't let you play on the easiest difficulty.
Well, of course not. Why not? Like, that would be convenient.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking tough, actually. I'm not gonna lie. And like even as far as like Like, even like going online, if you look at the forums, it's just like generally the level design is already harder than the main game. Like, constant influx of like reinforcements, more elaborate like levels. The final boss just like teleports your entire like group around the fucking arena. It's look, I had to reload. I'm not even gonna lie, I had to reload on this one a few times. So yeah, Cinder Shadow. Cinder Shadow's not. It's not bad. It's good. I mean, it's not. I wouldn't say it's up there with like some of the main games, but it's definitely worth playing. Is what I'll say.
So do it.
Yeah, do it.
Do it.
Do it. Yeah, it's worth it. If you can get it on a discount, I'd get it at a discount. But it also unlocks a bunch of like, and they like add in new students to play with you. You can't change your classes around or like gain skills or something in Cinder Shadow. So that's part of what like makes it more difficult. Is you can't like level up or like level up your abilities or change your classes or take certifications. So it's very limited in the play style, and there's limited resources, so you have to manage your resources properly in it. It's just harder on every level. But the like students they give you suck and they die constantly. Neat. It is a fucking effort to keep these jackasses alive. But it unlocks like new classes for you to play in the main game, which I don't have mastered because I got it after I had already beaten the main game. So I technically don't have all the classes, so I don't have the advanced ones. But yeah. Pretty good. It has the support system, which I think they should steal for Persona 6, because it's like social links, but also your social links can have social links. It's great. And you can like get people married and play matchmaker. It's great. There's a lot of cute romances. One of my favorites is like Lawrence and Marianne. I think they're just adorable together. And one of the things I tried to work on is keeping like Scythia alive at the end of the game, because like 90% of the people she marries just ends up with her dead. So you have to like work out the pieces, but you also get to see how your characters interact with each other, and it really fleshes them out as characters. And you can also get to like marry who you want. You can only be gay if you're a lady, from what I can tell, unless you have the DLC, and then I think you can marry Yuri if you're a man. So that's upsetting. I think you should be able to marry everyone no matter what. Just let me marry everyone. Why can't I marry Ingrid as a lady?
Come here, Ingrid.
I fucking love Ingrid. Yeah. If I would ever do like male Byleth, I would like marry like Catherine and Ingrid, because I love those characters, but they don't swing that way. So. But Edelgard swings that way, so I romanced, for my 4 playthroughs, I romanced the head of the house every time. So I romanced Edelgard, then Rhea, then Dimitri, then Claude. So just to make sure I got the full gamut of the characters and the full experience of the route. And this little lady right here is Sophis, and she's great. And she's a major plot point. Yo, and the fucking opening of this game, if you have not seen it, I've linked it in my Discord. Amazing. What a good fucking sound. This game has I normally don't care about soundtracks. Such an amazing soundtrack. One of the best soundtracks I've ever heard. Like, if I were to make like a top 10 soundtracks list, on it, right here. No problem. No doubt in my mind. Absolutely phenomenal. And it even uses it does a great job of using music to illustrate a point. Does a great example of this is when you go to Agartha, and there's an amazing quote from Agartha, which I don't want to spoil it too hard, so I'm just going to read the quote, and I think that's probably going to be the last thing I have to say about Three Houses. I'm just going to leave this dangling for you.
Dangle it, Daddy.
Let me search it up on my Discord. How do I spell missile? Oh, let's try underground. Really? What the fuck? Oh, this is fucking disappointing. Oh, thank you, Headshot. Oh, let's try rave. There we go. Okay, here we go. All right, here's the quote I'm going to leave you with on Three Houses before we move on to the next game. All right, this is from the this is from a user on YouTube under the Fire Emblem Three Houses OSDKST Shambhala track, which is a really stellar track. Here's the quote. This game goes from standard medieval fantasy to fighting a bunch of giant robots in an underground Death Star with rave music and missiles raining down from the sky real quick. And I'm just going to leave you with that without any explanation what that means other than that quote is amazing and correct.
That's that. Yeah, it's got my interest. I like rave music and missiles. You can't beat it.
Drakengard 4. One of my favorite anecdotes, this has nothing to do with Fire Emblem Three Houses, one of my favorite anecdotes from that interview I read about the Drakengard history was that Yoko Taro wanted Drakengard, when they were talking about making Drakengard 3, Yoko Taro wanted to make Drakengard 4. Like, he wanted to go Drakengard 1, Drakengard 2, Nier, and then Drakengard 4. And he wanted the plot of Drakengard 4 to be finding out what happened to Drakengard 3. And they just let him do that. I almost wish they did. He also wanted to have he also wanted to make a Drakengard set in high school and deal around he basically wanted to make Persona. He wanted to make Drakengard 3 basically Persona, and that idea fell through. And he also wanted space dragons. And all of these are amazing, which is why I'm saying Drakengard 5 should involve space dragons and high school students in a high school dealing with like social dramas with space dragons, and also trying to figure out what the fuck happened with Drakengard 4. That's my pitch for Drakengard 5. Get on it. Just let him make it. Because some of the eyes he threw out for fucking Drakengard 3 were so good that I just want to see what he would do with it. All right, that was it. Look, everyone knew if it took me 300 hours to beat a fucking game, I was going to talk to it about it for a fucking hour. So,
I mean, that's fair though.
I literally warned everyone that, hey, I'm probably going to beat Fire Emblem last podcast.
You did, yeah.
I'm probably going to beat Fire Emblem. This is going to be a long one.
Headshot asked it if it's overly dramatic Dragon Simulator. Then
I'd be down. Yeah, he also wanted Nier to be like a shonen manga. He wanted it to be a lot more lighthearted.
Oh, well, no.
He actually succeeded.
Did he?
But I think that says more about how dark Drakengard 1 was than anything.
Fair enough.
Okay, yeah, onward.
Next topic.
Trials of Mana.
Trials of Mana. You have not played this game because I see it's in your wish list on Steam.
I literally don't know if I have.
Yeah, because I noticed it was
Was this on the? Was this the one that was on the SNES?
It was not. This one was on PS1, and then they redid it for like PS4 and stuff.
Is this the one with the tree?
Yes, I believe they all have. They actually, yeah, they like all have a tree.
Oh, I might have played this. I might have played this when I was an itty bitty little tater tot.
Yeah, because it was a remake, so I wanted to play this and then shit happened. Trials of Mana.
Do you have locations and you build out the map?
No.
Oh, okay. No, I played a different Mana then.
That sounds like Dark Cloud.
No, Dark Cloud's a different game. I mean, yes, you do that in Dark Cloud, but no, it is a Mana game. It might not be this Mana game.
There was
It was Secret of Mana. Yes. Okay, I was thinking of Secret of Mana.
Yeah, that was that was the SNES one. That one's really good. I did own that one box, but unfortunately.
I've definitely played Secret of Mana. I might have played Trials of Mana, but I remember Secret of Mana way better. So if I have played it, I don't think it matters too hard.
Yeah. This is one of the only real game like single player games I played in the last month. This game didn't come out in English. It was
Then I did not play it.
Yeah, it was Densetsu 3, was the actual Japanese name, and I probably butchered the shit out of that. So you're welcome, everyone. I'm gonna try.
Yeah,
For a
thinking those.
second,
Yeah,
that
it's a
guy
Final
has
Fantasy spinoff.
yeah, it's this is I played Secret Mana, so when they announced the remake of this game, I was like, okay, cool. I skipped the Secret Mana remake because I heard it was awful. So luckily, this one was not awful. This was a pleasure. I'm old too. I feel that I played all those games. um, yeah, this it's based in the same world. You got the man, the goddess, the tree, and all that. On the Mana sword, same shit, different game. As Secret. But there's a little bit difference. You have 6 characters you can choose from the beginning. You can pick 3 of them, and it kind of determines like the route you take in the beginning of the game, and the people that you meet, and people who join your party when you meet them. I picked and what was it?
Like Chrono Cross.
Kind of, yeah, I like Chrono Cross, which I haven't played yet, but I have it. So yeah, I picked Angela, Duran, and what's her name? Reese. Yeah. Um, Angela is the like mage of the group. Duran is the swordsman, and Reese is like the support character. So I figured, I'll make my life easy and pick those 3. 'Cause that seems like, okay. I didn't have a healer for whatever reason. I didn't really need it. I think combined in this game, I died 3 times by the end of the game. This is a very easy game. I fucking flew through it in 16 hours, I think. I got to the end of the game and did everything.
You did that. You did like side quests and stuff.
There really weren't side quests.
Oh, it really is short. Wow.
Yeah, it's a pretty short game. Like, after you beat it the first time, you can go back and do like another quest and another boss and stuff like that. They're like, yeah, this person's stronger than the last boss. It was not. It was like laughably easy. I played it on like medium difficulty or whatever, so I was like, oh, whatever. So if I do the other 3 characters, I probably there's like 3 different endings depending on the two of the characters that are in your party. So Duran and Angela face one guy, Kevin and Charlotte, who is like my least favorite character ever. She has like one of those stupid lisp voice for no good reason. Like the voice actor who played her, I don't know why she was like, I need to add a list to this character so she sounds like this, and I'm sorry. It's the worst voice I've heard in anything in the longest time. And then Hawkeye and Reese are the other ones. So depending on there's like 3 main like kind of main villains. That you on one of them you fight before the final boss, and then the final boss is different depending on who you choose as well. So it's a game you can come back and play a couple times, but it's super short. But that's not a bad thing. I don't think that's really a bad thing. Like I don't mind short games as long as they're fun. This game was super fun. By the end of the game, like I don't know if it was just like the skills that I picked, but I was literally one-shotting everything at the end of the game, like max level creatures out in the wild. So I don't know if it was just how the game was built, or if I just happened to pick the right sort of abilities. Like I never would run out of mana. My character was a mage, so it would just regenerate so quick. It was regenerated quicker than I can use it. It was pretty ridiculous, but I mean, overall, it's a pretty good game. Standard plot. Like, hey, we have these monsters. Let's go beat these monsters. Mana stones, mana tree dying, fairies, mana goddess. I'm not gonna give too much away. It's pretty decent game. I got it on Steam sale for like $15. I think it's only like 25 right now. I mean, if you're into these types of games, definitely go pick it up. It was a lot of fun. I believe it's also on Switch and PS4. But PC Master Race, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely recommend it. I'm definitely gonna give it another playthrough. I'll probably do the playthrough live after Digimonth, which I'm gonna coin. This entire episode is Digimonth. I created it's ConquertheJohn's first ever Digimonth. We play nothing but Digimon game because I have an obsession right now, and I need to scratch the itch.
That digital itch.
That digital itch, which might also be crabs. I do
Digital
have
crabs.
everyone loves Pokemon, but I do have a special hack version of a certain game that will just cure the itch of Pokemon too. So it's a little crossover thing. It's Pokemon Digimon. That wasn't.
That sounds like I would hate it.
It looks interesting. It's basically just Digimon inserted into Pokemon Emerald. But
Right.
we'll see. Moemon? No, it's hold on, I have it right. It's like called like Pokemon. It's like called Pokemon Dark Origins or something like that. And yeah, it's like a Digimon thing. It's like a Pokemon Digimon crossover. It's a GBA title, yeah. But we got that. You don't love Pokemon? I love both. Pokemon has some of the better games, but Digimon has the better anime.
Pokemon has a pretty trash anime.
Yeah,
I'll concede that.
yeah, and it's been 1,000+ episodes, and Ash is still 10 years old. Get out of here.
Yeah.
And Digimon, they grow up. They're like legitimate adults now. Like they're like going to college. They have like pubes.
I actually think I would respect Pokemon more as a show if Ash grew up.
Right? I don't know. That's like a thing I need. I just need it.
That's what Winx Club did. If you're familiar with the Italian semi-magical girl series Winx Club,
Yeah.
It starts when they're like in high school, and it's gone on for like 8 or so seasons. Like the main character's like a fucking business owner now.
Yeah, and see, I like age progression in shows because it makes sense. Like it takes me out of it when I like Pokemon, for instance. Like that show started when I was 8 or 9 or whatever, and I remember by the time like Emeralds, Ruby, and Sapphire came out, I started watching the anime again. It was on Cartoon Network or Nick or some fucking channel. I don't remember. But I remember watching it and being like, "How is Ash like not growing up?" And like I've watched. Like,
it used to be on Cartoon Network and WB.
Was it Okay, I can't remember. Yeah, I know it was definitely on WB because that's where I watched the original anime. Yeah, I know. Yeah, in like 1990s. Yeah, but like case in point, like I watched Digimon at the same time in 1999, and then come Digimon Adventure 2. They're 3 years older, and as an adult, I watched the Digimon Tri movies where they're like teenagers. So I mean, it's solid. Fuck you, PS4 players. Also, sub, or can we get a Dreamcast? I just like in general just watching the cast characters grow up.
You know what show does this really well?
What?
My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic.
See, I don't know that.
Yeah, no. It starts off where now you don't know necessarily that they are getting older, but you can kind of like chart their progress throughout the series. It starts off where basically Twilight's like a recent college graduate, and then by the end she's like a princess. Like she gets like a job as a librarian, but Rainbow Dash just like joins the military. Rarity has like a small like fashion like atelier, but like later goes on to own like multiple boutiques. It does really good character development where you see like the characters progress as time goes on.
Yeah, I think that's another reason why I don't like Simpsons either, because again, show's been going on 20-something years. One's still the same age. I don't know.
Friendship is Magic.
Like, yeah, Friendship is, yeah.
Well, I was gonna say Friendship and Magic went on for so long that at the start, some of the main characters had little sisters that were like, "We need to figure out what we're doing in life." Like we want to find out what we want to be when we grow up. And then it went on for so long that they entered their teen years, figured out what they were going to do with their life, and there was a whole plot line dedicated to, I think, Rarity realizing that her little sister is growing up so fast and she kind of doesn't know her anymore.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Dragon Ball Z did a good job with it. Like Goku was a child; he went to being like a teenager / young adult. then he went to being like an adult, and then he went to being like a dad and a grandpa, and so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Naruto does it well too. Only like a 3-year time skip. Then don't talk about Boruto.
We definitely do not talk about Boruto.
But I mean, yeah, like the only anime.
There's a lot of anime that does it. Anime cares more about time progression.
Yeah,
especially school animes.
It is. It's better.
Mm-hmm.
So what's that's
Yeah, that's wrong.
there we go. I don't know how that got hit. I hit.
Is it up on screen?
Yes. Anime Violent Fuller House. I'd watch that.
Okay, so Fallout New Vegas, right? For whatever reason, I decided to replay some Fallouts, right? So not too long ago, I did a full review of Fallout 3 to see if it still held up. It definitely did. That game is still phenomenal. When I stop me if we've already done this topic, but I believe I did my New Vegas playthrough before the Cold Topic podcast started.
I think so. I think I remember you talking about it.
Yeah, I thought it was okay as a game, but I wasn't super into it, so I decided to replay it to see if I would like it better, and I do like it better. Without a doubt, I still prefer Fallout 3, but that game is such a pain in the ass to get running that if I were to ever be like, I want to replay a Fallout again, it would probably be New Vegas, because at the very least, I know I can get New Vegas fucking running.
And you had mad issues with Fallout 3.
Fallout 3 was so fucking hard to get working that at least New Vegas will fucking boot. Not to say it is not perfect. It's got a lot of buggy quest lines. Way more buggy quest lines than 3. I once had to spend like an hour in like fucking consoles, piping in console commands to try to get a fucking quest to just work at all. And part of it, I think, has to do with that. It just had such a short development cycle that they didn't have time to iron out a lot of bugs. Which, you know, it's like you can give them credit for what they pulled out in the limited time they had. Sure. You know what I'm saying? But if we're evaluating the game as a game, I have to bring up that a lot of the quests are bugged and just, like, fucking broken. Like, sometimes you have to follow checklists just to fucking see how to get through a quest without it breaking in half. For example, one of the more broken ones is the quest relating to, like, a murder gun selling and getting the Pimp Boy 3 billion, which I did get the Pimp Boy 3 billion, but because I was playing as a woman, they apparently don't have a mesh for the female Pimp Boy 3 billion. So instead of, like, displaying the Pimp Boy properly on the fucking screen, what happens is your hand goes sideways and half the Pimp Boy clips through your fucking arm.
Neat. Horrifying.
So, yeah, that's fucking great. It also crashed, and I wrote down every time it crashed. Are you ready for this? Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 30 times. It crashed 30 times.
And how long did you play the game for?
I think it came to about 80 hours at the end of it. I did all of the quests possible. I didn't do every quest because you actually can't. Some quests counteract other quests.
Real quick. I'm assuming you counted by 5.
I did.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I did tally marks 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I was like, multiply by.
I'd assumed that's what the mathematic rhythm we were going with, so that's why I wasn't going to question it.
Yeah, I did every quest possible. That I could. I fucking ping-ponged about which, like, ending I was going to go with, because I went in being like, oh, I'll probably go house, and then I ended up doing so much NCR quests that I'm like, oh, I'll probably go NCR, and then at the end, I went, yes, man, again. Because I'm a megalomaniac, and I want to control fucking the Mojave.
We're finding new quests.
Yeah, there's a lot of depth to it. It has very, very good quest design, or I should say quest chaining, which is something I talked about that Fallout 3 did also phenomenally. Like, you enter into an area and you pick up a bunch of quests, and those quests will lead you to other quests, which will lead you to other quests, and they design it perfectly to lead you all the way in the big U shape up until you get to the Vegas Strip, which is great. It does fall apart with quest chaining in Freeside, because once you get into Freeside, instead of taking you directly into the strip to complete what would have been an absolutely amazing depiction of quest chaining, what it actually does is once you get into Freeside, it starts ping-ponging you all across the map like a fucking crazy person, and then by the time you actually get into the strip, it's like, who gives a shit? I've been in like fucking Vegas like 800 hours now. Now it doesn't matter. Yeah, so it kind of it falls apart on its quest chaining at the very end, but even still, up until you get to actual Vegas, very, very solid game development as far as like quest designs go. Like Fallout 3, a lot of dialogue options based on the choices you've made, a lot of ways to tackle quests. I would say they both probably handle those situations relatively the same. The map feels a lot smaller and a lot condensed, and there's a lot less going on outside of like the main pathways as opposed to 3. At first, I wasn't a fan when I played it the first time, but I kind of appreciate the tightness in New Vegas. I won't say one is better than the other in that regard. It's just different. You know, New Vegas is definitely a more tight experience. And I definitely feel like New Vegas was supposed to be more expansive, but they just didn't have the dev time. But in fact, I would actually say not all, but I would say a good amount of issues that are in New Vegas is probably just because they did not have the time to work on the game. I definitely
the Obsidian one, right?
Yeah, they had 18 months to make it.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, and so like I feel like not all of them, but a good amount of them, of the problems that are in this game is just because they didn't have a lot of time. They had to fucking book it. Apparently, I've heard devs talk about this game from Obsidian's team. The only reason they even got it done was because of the amount of assets that were in Fallout 3 that they just took for this game. So they didn't have to make a lot of assets, and that's why they were able to get this fucking thing out at all.
That sounds like my favorite Zelda game.
Majora's Mask?
Yep.
Yeah, Bethesda really fucked him over on this. They did what they could with what they had. I would have been interested to see if this game had time in the oven, what would have come out of it. Because if this game had time in the oven, it'd probably be my favorite Fallout.
Obsidian's pretty. They dropped some bangers. Like Outer Worlds was pretty chill. Grounded was pretty cool. Like
this is better than Outer Worlds.
Yeah. They have that new game. I can never remember the name of it coming out eventually, but yeah.
But what I will say is that this game does do really well. It has a lot of interesting like companions. I did the companion quests. I did the companion quests too, also, and they feel like real characters that live in the world. The companions, and I appreciate that. They're not just like, I'm a dude, blah 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 blah. Like, you talk to them, they have reactions. Some of the companion quests are real fucking like take effort to trigger. But yeah, and one thing I enjoyed was it takes a little bite out of the Mass Effect book, kind of, where there's like the Renegade and Paragon system. There's like reputation versus infamy. So you don't just get like, I like you this much, but then you did this thing I like, so I don't like you as much anymore. It's like you gain like points and dislike points, and that changes how you interact with the factions. Very well handled in that regard. Definitely appreciate it. It creates this more fluid, well-constructed faction system that I really wish they had brought into like Fallout 4, but we will talk about Fallout 4 because I'm playing that game right now. We will talk about Fallout 4 later. What faction did I side with? I sided with Yes Man at the end, but I did missions for everyone, even the Legion. I even did Legion missions. I finished like Wild Child for both Legion and NCR. Because I fucking shot nukes at them.
Fuck you.
Yeah, the faction system is really well done. The karma system is terrible and shouldn't be in the game at all, and they should have fucking cut it. And I'm okay with the fact that Fallout 4 cut that shit completely. Because the karma system is fucking terrible. 90% of all quests will lead you to having good karma. Like, I tried to go for medium karma. I was a cannibal. I ate people. I stole from people. I requested money. I once requested money to retrieve a woman's dead husband for her. I ended up as the Messiah at the end of the game.
Gotta love that.
I nuked 2 countries, and it still gave me max karma. Like, the karma system's busted. The act of completing quests will just give you karma. Sometimes killing enemies that are automatically hostile to you will just give you karma. So karma's fucking busted. But the faction reputation system is brilliant. Definitely support it. A lot of good quests, some unique quest designs to it. Just a good game. Definitely prefer Fallout 3, but good game all around. I also did the DLC, so I'm just going to quickly talk about the DLC. When I last played it, I said I only did one of the New Vegas DLCs, and I turned it off because it was so fucking boring. So I did them this time. So real quick review. Honest Hearts was the one that was terrible, and I turned it off immediately. I did it properly this time. As it turns out, the first time I played it, I accidentally shot my fucking guide in the face.
Oh, that'll do it.
Because he's dressed exactly like the enemies in the game. Honest Hearts is sort of like a fetch quest where you have to run around this big canyon and like fight monsters. And it's intended for like levels 5 through 10, but at this point I was like level 50 when I did it. Because I did it right before I went to talk to Benny. So it's like, you gotta watch out for the Yaogwai. And I look over at the Yaogwai and I just punch it and it dies.
The Mogwai?
And I'm like, oh, so threatening.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah,
The
like,
Mogwai.
oh, the Yaogwai. I killed like the Death Claw by beating it to death with my the Demon Bear by beating it to death with my fucking fists. What is really interesting is they talk about Joshua Graham throughout the main game, like the Burned Man, the last legate of Caesar. And I knew he was in Honest Hearts, and I was like, this is going to be the big bad. Like, he's the main villain of Honest Hearts. And then someone's like, you're going to have to talk with Joshua Graham. And I'm like, oh, shit, here we go. It's about to go down. And then you talk to Joshua Graham, and he's like, hey, what's up? I'm Joshua Graham. You want to help? Hey, what's going on? I'm setting up a civilization. We're trying to help these poor people defend themselves. You want to help me help these poor people? And I'm like, I didn't think you were going to be cool. I expected you to be the main villain, not like the coolest dude ever. So as it turns out, Joshua Graham didn't kill him, didn't fight him, wasn't the main villain. He was an ally, cool guy, sold me a sick-ass gun I used for the rest of the playthrough. Fucking thumbs up on Joshua Graham. Daniel, pretty cool guy too. Definitely more of a Joshua Graham fan, even though I did end up going with Daniel's route of just like evacuating New Zion to Zion or whatever. Nice. But yeah, so Honest Hearts, not bad, pretty decent. Definitely weak in the quest design standpoint, but like I think Joshua Graham as a character just by itself elevates the DLC. Next up is Dead Money. You get kidnapped in a way more believable way than you ever do in Fallout 3 in the Pit DLC, where just like 5 dudes just beat you with clubs. You get like gassed. And I'm like, okay, I believe my character could get knocked out with some kind of magic bullshit gas. That's reasonable to me.
Bill Cosby gas.
Huh?
Bill Cosby gas.
Yeah, Bill Cosby gas. They strip you of all of your equipment in this one. Like, all of it. You're fucking, like, naked sitting there. They just give you a jumpsuit. And Elijah's like, I have a bomb around your neck. You can't leave until you finish the Dead Money DLC. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, you gotta find your own shit. You gotta recruit these people for a heist. This is a heist mission. We're going for a heist mission.
Very
and, it's worth noting, I played the entire game on normal difficulty. I didn't change the difficulty once. And I played on hardcore. So I needed to eat, sleep. I needed food, and in Dead Money, there's a special little trait of Dead Money where if you're playing on hardcore in Dead Money, you take damage every minute, just outright, just for being in the DLC.
What?
Yeah. Just for the act of existing, they hurt you.
Fucking bullshit.
Yeah, and remember, they took all of your food and water and shit, and you can't sleep. So it's up to you to figure out how to eat, sleep. And they don't let you sleep in the entire DLC. So you're on this fucking timer where you have to scourge through, like, garbage cans for, like, weapons and food and water so you don't fucking die while on hardcore mode, all while constantly taking damage from the gas around you. You're surrounded by what's called ghost people, who are these immortal enemies.
Ghost people?
The area is, like, laden with traps, like shotgun traps, explosive traps. Like, I think there was, like, a spike trap even at one point, maybe. I don't remember fully. And there's, like, these hidden speaker systems all throughout the area that will cause you to instantly die if you spend too much time near one.
Fuck that. What is this, Dark Souls?
It's like Dark Souls if you were if your health was constantly draining, and if spending too much time near an enemy just kills you, and also none of the enemies died.
Yeah, that sounds like Dark Souls.
And also it's fist only.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And there's no Estus Flask because they took them from you.
Well, that's a big middle finger right in the fucking face.
That's fucking Dead Money. Yeah, we took all of your shit. Don't forget to eat, sleep, and drink. Oh, you can't sleep in the DLC at all, but you still have to sleep while in hardcore mode, but you can't sleep. They don't let you. Well, it'll be like, the gas is preventing you from sleeping. I'm like, oh, fucking lovely. Taking damage every minute. Can't eat, can't drink. All my equipment's gone. All of my healing items. All of my bobby pins for lockpicks. All of my weapons.
That sounds fucking
the enemies are immortal. And there's things to just cause you to instantly die if you're in the wrong area. It's honestly not that bad.
Oh, okay.
It's actually not that bad. I definitely died a lot, but in this DLC, but it was mostly because of the fact that of the instant death speakers, because you have to find them, and sometimes they're hard to find. But what I will say is that I'm very good at scavenging, because I actually beat the DLC with more healing items and more bobby pins than I had before entering the DLC.
Okay.
So I actually ended it better than I was. Oh, also in hardcore mode, ammo has weight.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate this.
So you have to watch your weight for your ammo, too. This was another thing I dealt with. The level design for Dead Money is, like, I think overly elaborate sometimes, and it's very easy to get lost in it. Like, once you, like, figure out how to keep the enemies dead, sometimes you end up in the situation where you've disarmed all the traps, you've destroyed all of the speakers, so you're not in any danger of blowing up. All of the enemies are gone now. And you're in a situation where, sure, you're taking damage like every minute or whatever, because I'm on hardcore and I refuse to turn off hardcore difficulty. But I ended up in situations where I'm just wandering around the map being like, how the fuck do I get out of this area? So I think some of the areas are a little too convoluted and, like, tossy-turvy, and I think the map is a little too big. Dead Money, I think if it was a little shorter, would have been amazing, but for me it was just a little too long, a little too convoluted. A lot of interesting characters. I tried to keep my entire party alive, but I ended up having to kill Dean Domino, which I'm okay with, because he was a dickhead anyway, so whatever.
Fair enough.
And then at the end, I shoved Elijah in a fucking vault. And I made out with the gold because I kept my stealth boys.
Hell yeah.
On a DLC's whole idea is, like, sometimes you just have to let things go, so you're not supposed to leave with the gold. I left with the gold.
This is my money, motherfucker.
It's my money, motherfucker. I left with the gold. I couldn't even spend the gold. Because one gold bar is worth 10,000 caps, and like even the gun runners only have 8,000 caps. So I didn't even have the ability to spend the money I left with.
That's just a ball ass thing.
I will be damned if I was gonna leave 37 gold bars in a fucking vault with some dickhead.
Well, there you go. That's the middle finger you gave them.
Yes. Dead Money, pretty okay. I think it should have been shorter and a little less convoluted. I think it was a little much. Because once you've cleared all the threats, it's just... where the fuck do I go? How do I get out of here? Be safe, headshot. Damn.
Yeah, that sounds... Stay inside as much as possible. Like I try to do.
Then was Old World Blues. The weight of the gold bars? Oh, like a lot. I was severely over encumbered. I think I walked out at like 3,000 pounds, and I had like a carry weight of like 350.
That sounds like me in Skyrim. Like, I'm not leaving this axis. We're 28 gold. I don't care.
No, it was I was at 3,900 weight, I think. So it was almost 4,000 weight, including my weapons and shit, and I only had like a capacity of like 350. I was severely over encumbered when I left.
What do you?
I would be damned if I was leaving that gold in there.
Fucking crawled from the vault.
No, I literally crawled from the vault. You're right.
You're like, fuck that.
While invisible.
I've done that with in fucking like Skyrim and shit. Like, you find a whole bunch of good shit. Like, I ain't leaving that. It takes it takes you like 25 minutes to walk to a white run to go sell everything. Like, whatever, worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah, why do I have 36 dragon bones?
And remember, you can't leave the DLC, so it's not like I could have stowed them or anything. So yeah, I literally crawled invisibly with all of the gold in the world in my pocket. I don't regret it. Old World Blues, next DLC. You get teleported. You get to keep all your shit in this one.
Perfect.
You find a bunch of scientists called the Think Tank. They steal your brain and your spine and your heart.
Okay.
And then they lose your brain.
Oh, what?
So that's a fucking problem.
So you basically but lose your brain.
Yeah, so you go on this journey to find your brain. Old World Blues is just a fucking delight. It leads you into the next DLC, Lonesome Road, where you see hints of Ulysses, which is like the main villain of like Lonesome Road. But I think more importantly, it's just like so funny. Like, I love the Think Tank. They're all like wacky and crazy zany characters, and like they're up against this like former Think Tank member named I think like Dr. Mobius or something, who's just like, I heard him compared to like a Saturday morning cartoon villain. Like, he's just like, I'm evil and I'm going to kill you with my robo scorpions. They're actually robo scorpions. I'm not making those up. It's fucking great. You have to go up against like other people who have had their brains like removed, but they don't get to keep thinking like you do because they kind of botched their brain removal. Actually, technically, they succeeded at their brain removal. They botched your brain removal because you're not supposed to be able to still think, but you can. They have like these cool like axes that are like lightsaber axes that destroy robots. Okay. It introduces the best waifu in all of Fallout, Stealth Suit Mark II. She's a delight. I love her. She's a stealth suit. She's medium armor. She makes you stealthy. And she like talks to you sometimes, and she's like, "We're being sneaky now. Do you like me? I like you."
Yeah, I really like you.
I fucking love you, Stealth Suit Mark II. You are my favorite. I will now marry my clothes. You find personality modules for like the various areas in your like in your house. So like your toaster is like evil and shit. Your light switches are seductresses.
What kind of acid did they take?
They do take acids. Actually, they take like jet. They do take jet, in fact, and mentats.
Oh, okay.
They'll like offer you drugs sometimes. They're like, "You want some drugs? You have some drugs."
No, I'm not taking drugs from a light switch.
No. I mean the think tank doctors.
Oh,
like when you meet Dr. Mobius. Yeah, when you meet Dr. Mobius, he's just like, "Hey, have some drugs." You don't even ask him anything. He's like, "Have some drugs." You're like, "Oh, thanks."
Thanks.
I really like drugs.
No, that keeps turning me on.
Your fucking like auto farming like creating device inside your apartment that they give you is like this like deep voiced baritone. I almost want to say like Barry Manilow type thing that keeps asking for your seed. He's like, "Hey, pretty lady, I'd really like your seed for my farm." And I'm like, "Okay."
I'm like, oh. Woo.
Old World Blues is a fucking delight.
Sounds like a fucking trip.
Honestly, if I could recommend any part of fucking Fallout New Vegas, fucking play Old World Blues. I fucking loved it. Possibly my favorite Fallout DLC of all time. Maybe even more than Broken Steel. Just fucking delight. I loved Old World Blues.
Hell yeah.
Easily my favorite part of the whole game, actually. Old World Blues, amazing. That brings us to Lonesome Road, the final DLC. You're allowed to keep all of your equipment, but you have to go alone.
Oh, that's spooky.
Ooh. You walk through this area called the Divide, and which is like has a whole slew of undetonated. I've actually not played Far Harbor. I kind of got bored with Fallout 4 after The Mechanist. I'm replaying it now. I'll get back to you on it once I've actually done Far Harbor. Because I am replaying Fallout 4 to see if I'll like it as much. But yeah, you could like there's like undetonated nuclear warheads, and they give you a device to detonate them. It's full of like ghouls who can survive in the radiation, like robots. They have these new enemies called tunnelers that are implied to one day will probably attack Nevada, probably attack the Mojave and like overrun everyone. Like these like super monsters and fucking Deathclaws. So many goddamn Deathclaws. Let me tell you, Lonesome Road is actually hard.
That's good though.
And it's not hard for like cheap reasons like dead money, like everything's out to kill you and you're constantly taking down. No, I mean like the enemies are fucking hard. They have like pinpoint aim. I can't tell you the number of times I've been shooting at enemies and I just died and I don't even know what killed me. And it's not until I saw my body fall that I turned out there was an entire fucking Deathclaw behind me. And I'm like, one shot. And like, I've been hit by Deathclaws in the main game. The Deathclaws in the fucking Divide are something else. I swear, they do like double the damage. Like, it is not. No, Broken Steel is probably my favorite Fallout DLC, other than maybe Old World Blues. I agree, Broken Steel is great. Old World Blues, top tier. Lonesome Road, fucking hard. You like go out through this long road. It really is kind of linear, but it's like a well-designed linear where you have to survive the encounters as you're going. And it's just this long path up to what's known as Ulysses Temple, which is the courier that was supposed to take the platinum ship, but then turned it down so you'd take the platinum ship. And you got to find like his motivation, and he talks to you all throughout the whole thing through like Edie. And you get to find out more about Edie's backstory. And so what I will say is that the issue I have with Lonesome Road is Ulysses sucks as a character. His dialogue is kind of based on what faction you have the most reputation with, but as I mentioned previously, NCR has the most quest lines related to them. So 99.9% of the time, you're just going to end up on the NCR route, even if that's not the ending you're going for. And he used to be a Legion member. He just like blabbers on to you about this bullshit. They introduced this concept in the Old World Blues DLC of Old World Blues, which is this sort of like mournful nostalgia from the past. And fucking Ulysses has a fucking awful case of old world blues. And he blames you for destroying the divide because without your character, even like before the game even begins, apparently your character helped blaze the trail of the divide, which turned into a settlement, and then you also develop brought a detonator to the divide, which caused the whole thing to blow up. And so he blames you for all of this because he thought the divide was a pretty cool place to live. And you don't have any hand in any of this, and you're told all of this. Like he just tells you your own backstory, like retroactively before the game even starts. I think it would have so much more impact if you actually, during the previous DLCs where they were trying to set up Lonesome Road, I think it would have so much more impact if you had to like actually perform these actions. And then when you get to Lonesome Road and he calls you out on your bullshit, then it actually, you feel like you have a sense of responsibility instead of the game blaming you for essentially just playing it. While you're going through, he leaves you these signs that say like "turn back courier," and you think they might be going meta with it, you know, sort of like BioShock. A man chooses, a slave obeys, but they just drop that. Like they're like, "Oh, you could have turned back at any point." It's like, yeah, but so like they don't explore the meta concept at all. I don't know. I like. Honestly, I just feel like Ulysses kind of ruins it for me. I just think he's like sort of a lame character. I managed to talk him down at the end by telling him that we shouldn't nuke either the NCR or the Legion. And then I nuked both the NCR and the Legion because I don't fucking give a shit. I'm the bad guy.
I am the bad guy.
Yeah. No, on the plus side, you get to launch 2 nukes at the NCR and the Legion. On the other hand, they don't fucking give a shit, and they'll just forgive you.
They're like, you know, that nuke was kind of a dick move, dude, but hey, we forgive you.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's literally what happened. Like, I talked to the NCR ambassador, and he's like, you know, you shot a nuclear warhead at us, but if you help us with this street gang, all's forgiven. And I'm like,
okay.
Yeah, that seems equivalent. Yeah, yeah, that works out.
Yeah, you know,
that makes sense. I have blown up Megaton.
You gotta blow up Megaton. Yeah, that's like that's like a rite of passage.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's New Vegas. I will have to say I do agree with the statement that like even if you don't think Fallout 3, even if you don't think New Vegas itself is better than Fallout 3, New Vegas has better DLCs. In that regard, I'd agree. I'm not a big Fallout 3 DLC person. I like Broken Steel, but that's about it. And I would have to say, by and large, DLCs in New Vegas better. I still prefer Fallout 3 itself. New Vegas, though, good game. Thumbs up, for sure.
Is that a play it?
If you like third person, if you've played a Fallout, I don't know how to describe it. If you like a RPG shooter hybrids, I'd give it a play it.
All right, neat. So that wraps up our video game portion of the podcast. All right, our next topic.
More Fallout New Vegas.
More Fallout.
It's the Fallout New Vegas cast.
It's actually Loki.
Loki.
I can't remember. So Loki, which has been on Disney Plus. You haven't seen it.
No.
Are you gonna watch it?
Maybe one day.
Okay.
Spoil whatever you want if you want. If you want to throw in a spoiler tag.
I'm gonna throw on a spoiler tag for this because it's hard to talk about without spoilers.
I've seen a review for it, if that helps.
So the for those of you who haven't seen it, either mute me for the next 5 minutes. I'm not gonna talk about it too much. But I am gonna talk about it because it needs to be talked about. This show is phenomenal. 6 episodes.
We'll give we'll raise our hand up when we're done. I'll raise my hand up.
Yeah.
This right here. This is when you know you're safe.
Good catch. Anyways, so the whole premise of the show is the Loki that was in Avengers Endgame that got away, gets captured by the TVA, which is Time Variance Authority, who protect the sacred timeline. It's the timeline of the whole Marvel Cinematic universe, all one thing. throughout the and Owen Wilson is also in the show, which is great. I love Owen Wilson. He does not say wow though, so I was disappointed. He plays Mobius and Mobius. For those of you who have read the comics, he is the guy that's kind of in charge of the TVA. Kind of. We also have Judge Renslayer, who, if for those of you who've read the comics, is kind of a girlfriend to a very important character who is going to be showing up very soon in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm very excited for.
And
So
that is
Kang the Conqueror.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kang Gang. So it follows him getting picked up because he is officially a variant of himself at this point, because he has gone away from his original timeline, which is him, going through Thor: The Dark World, the events of Thor Ragnarok, and then eventually the beginning of Infinity War, where he gets kind of killed. So
He had a really shitty death in that movie.
He did. He got choked the fuck
It
up.
was actually so shitty that I legitimately didn't think he was dead.
When does Loki turn into a woman and birth North monsters like he did in mythology? He hasn't yet. But that was a huge thing that everyone was talking about because
Turn into a woman was this show, correct? There's a female version of him.
So yes, there is. So the reason why he doesn't get obliterated from the timeline is because Mobius needs his help catching a variant of himself, which turns out to be a female version of Loki, who's named Sylvie. Whatever reason. There's a reason. But anyway, so they actually do end up catching up to her. He actually leaves with her. This is an entire spoiler thing, so I'm just gonna go through.
I have a very important question.
Go on.
If they were able to capture him, why couldn't they have captured her without him?
Because she's better.
Okay.
Okay, so the whole her character, who is a version of Loki, has been running from the TVA since she was a child. So she has like all their tech and everything, so she can always get away.
They were able to capture a god with experience, but they weren't able to capture a child.
Yes.
Okay, continue.
She's a better ninja Loki, basically. Yeah, she's been running from the TVA since she was a child. They never said what her actual Nexus event was, that which I was kind of bummed out about, but whatever.
Yeah, I was gonna ask where the fuck she came from.
Yeah, so the whole premise is that there's variants of different people.
Is she Loki but presenting as female, or
she is a Loki? Yes.
No, well, no. I mean, let's be clear. Is she Loki presenting as female, or was Loki just born female in her timeline?
Correct. Yeah, she was born a female in that timeline.
So wouldn't her event have been her birth?
Basically, that's what they allude to, but
how the fuck didn't they capture a baby?
I don't know. She was like,
they're not good at their jobs, are they?
They weren't then, apparently. Apparently, because it actually shows like Judge Renslayer as a actual like time cop, like, and she's the one that kind of misses her and stuff like that. They do capture her, but then she escapes while she's actually like in the TVA and stuff like that.
Hold up. You gain your sex in the womb, so wouldn't her event have been something that happened with Loki's mom's pregnancy?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Well, yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
This show is bringing up a lot of questions, and I don't think it was ready for them to be answered.
Oh, you have no idea.
Oh, dear. Oh, does it get worse?
Oh, there's a lot of questions that are not... some of them are answered. So basically, Loki and her team up to basically bring down TVA and find out who's actually behind it. Because they say that the timekeepers are part of the equation, but it turns out the timekeepers are actually just android beings and not the real thing. Which actually leads...
aren't they like clones in the comics though? That doesn't seem that far-fetched.
Yeah. No, yeah, they are clones. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's yeah. Yeah, that's right. Anyway, so Loki actually gets pruned from the timeline after this event, where he meets Alligator Loki, a Brashful Loki, which is a version of Loki who has a weird hammer that kind of looks like Mjolnir, but it's not. Made of like a railroad track. I don't know. Classic Loki, who looks just like his comic book counterpart, played by Richard D. Grant, who does a phenomenal job, and Kid Loki, who claims to have killed Thor, and that was his Nexus event. Classic Loki was a version of Loki who actually escaped from Thanos and lives solitary life on a separate planet.
Why would he have done that?
I don't know. Apparently, he disguised himself as some space debris.
Because I guess Thanos survived in that.
No, so
timeline?
That stuff still happens. Like everybody gets snapped away, but he actually creates a perfect clone of himself that dies instead of him, and he gets away.
Which sounds like what I would have thought Loki would have done.
Yeah.
But I guess so. Thanos wins in that timeline.
Correct. Yeah, it's still the same timeline except for Loki survives, but nobody knows he survives.
Okay.
Because he's like on a planet by himself, and
I don't understand why Loki would be hiding at all. I don't know how that benefits him, because if everything is up to the point where he creates a clone, he should still be on like good terms with Thor. And what we know is that that fucking Thanos would have won, so he'd have fucking blown up the gauntlet, and then he'd just go be a farmer. So it's not like he's hiding from Thanos or anything. What the fuck is he hiding from in that timeline?
He just wants to be left alone.
Why?
They don't explain.
This show sounds like it would make me violently angry.
It won't, because it's very good. It's actually like out of the 3 Disney Plus shows, like WandaVision was my favorite until I saw this. Falcon and Winter Soldier was good. It was just kind of like it's a very grounded show, so it was kind of like okay, cool. I like the crazier shit in Marvel, and this is the crazier shit in Marvel. So yeah, so basically the whole thing, they find out. I'm just gonna skip a couple parts because I don't want to give away too much. Even though I'm gonna give away who's behind the TVA, but they eventually meet the person who's behind the TVA. Also, shout out to Miss Minutes for being one of the best characters in the show too, which is just a clock, voiced by Tara Strong, and then she's one of my favorite characters in the entire show. I love her so.
How do they decide what is the main timeline and what's a variant?
Oh, that's what I'm getting to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, don't worry. So they reached the final destination, which is the Citadel. The Citadel is house of He Who Remains, who from the comics was an older version of a TVA agent who just kind of guides the timeline. So that's what he's doing. He's guiding this one timeline because it's actually Kang who is He Who Remains. So the reason why he does this is because there's multiple versions of himself that are way worse than him. And if he keeps this timeline the way it is, they cannot be made. Because he's the one who discovers the multiverse. And the multiverse, they have a huge multiversal war that ends in, a whole bunch of people getting conquered, blah, blah, blah. And he says, there are worse versions of me out there, so if you kill me, they will be set free. To which female Loki does not like that. She's like, I don't believe this guy one bit. So what does she do? She kills him after kissing Loki, which is kind of weird. They have a whole romance thing. I kind of skipped over that.
Okay.
Fall for each other because Loki's so self-absorbed that he literally loves himself. Whatever, that works for me. But anyways, so she kills him, and then the multiverse starts to sprout off this one timeline, creating multiple timelines, multiple different universes, which it creates the Marvel multiverse. Boy, is that not a good way to end? And then that's the whole show, man.
Let's be real. Let's hold up. But there were already timelines splitting off from that timeline.
Yes, but that was supposed to happen. So the whole plot of Endgame was supposed to happen in the timeline.
No.
But with Cap returning the Infinity Stones, it doesn't branch the realities.
No, but you've already mentioned like 6 other versions of Loki, so they were already branching.
Correct, yeah, that's the reason for the TVA, because they need to prune those realities.
So how do they decide what the prime reality is?
the one that He Who Remains sees without his variants in, because he destroyed all the variants in order to create this one timeline.
Oh, so if he sees a variant in that timeline, he's like, that one's got to go?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now maybe I don't understand how these timeline variations work, because I don't think they do. But would there not be a timeline where He Who Remains still exists? Because the implication is that they kill him in what would be every timeline, but wouldn't there be a variant that splits off where He Who Remains exists inside of that timeline? But then if he exists in that timeline, wouldn't that timeline then see the prime timeline, what was formerly the non-prime timeline, as the non-prime timeline, and then that in turn would be a time variant that would need pruning?
But yes, they do bring that up.
Okay, all right. As long as they're aware of that, how that sounds like they didn't solve any fucking problem at all.
So he says, "Hey, you guys can."
It's like they did nothing.
Yeah, he's like, "I've lived 1,000 lifetimes, experienced a million different things. I'm done with this job. I need someone to take over." So the option is either they can kill him, or they can just rule over this sacred timeline to make sure that nothing bad happens. They obviously don't do that. They kill him, which releases multiple timelines and all of his variants, which are way worse than him. So going forward, there are obviously going to be different multiversal threats, different versions of different characters and everything. So it's very exciting.
So, okay, so maybe timelines aren't created based on choices? Because if they were, there would still be a version of him alive, because there would be a timeline where they didn't make the choice to kill him.
Well, yes. So what at that moment, he's like, I can't see ahead anymore. Like, this is where the timeline ends. Because they're basically at the end of time. That's where his citadel is, at the end of time. So there's a point where he's like, I can't see what's going to happen next. So he doesn't actually know that he's going to get killed or not. Which is interesting, because
if they were at the end of time, how are they experiencing time?
I don't know, dude. I don't make the rules.
Okay. This seems very contrived.
Well, I mean...
It's like that, like, Doctor Strange quote in, like, Infinity War. I've seen a million timelines and there's only one where we win, which is clearly just a fucking thing that they say so that you don't question why they didn't do something more logical than what they actually ended up doing.
Exactly. It's for the movie. For all time, always.
It's like that fucking line in Rick and Morty. Don't think about it.
Actually, funny that you mentioned Rick and Morty. Michael Waldron, who writes Rick and Morty, actually wrote this entire series. Well, he was one of the writers. So.
Oh, does he work on Rick and Morty?
Yes, he does, yeah.
Oh, that was the wrong person to choose to write a fucking time travel thing, then. If someone's answer to your time travel questions is at any point, don't think about it, they probably shouldn't have been writing something about time travel. If you're going to do a time thing, you need to understand these mechanics.
Yeah. It's less about time and more about alternate realities and alternate selves.
But he clearly does. They don't understand these concepts very well, clearly.
Well, they explained it good enough.
All right.
That's what I'll say. They explained it good enough. But anyway, so yeah, this show has, besides WandaVision, has had one of the bigger impacts on the MCU. Just because, now we have these branch realities that can cross over. So that's potentially how they're going to introduce X-Men for that support.
Which already existed.
Yeah, kind of. Now it's a threat.
Okay. They existed before, but now it's serious.
But now it's serious because Kang.
Wait, no, hold up. Doctor Strange said he looked through a million other timelines and there was only one timeline he won. So that means that by the statements they make in Infinity War, there were already at least another million timelines before they got to the end of time to kill the branching timelines.
Yes. But okay. That's the one that was supposed to happen.
Alright, whatever.
Science. I don't know.
Fucking hell.
Theoretical science, of course.
This show would kill me if I tried to watch it, I think.
I honestly explained it very vaguely, so if you watch it actually throughout the 6 episodes, it makes perfect sense
I'm
as
sure
to
I would be more upset.
it's explained a lot better than I just kinda I didn't wanna spoil more than I needed to.
Yeah.
So, um, anyways, give it a watch, 6 episodes, they're about 45 minutes apiece. Very good. Tom Hiddleston is extremely good in this. Also watch WandaVision as well, because if you sync up a few certain parts from WandaVision in this show, it's a little weird. Weird. Weird.
Okay.
Yeah, go give it a watch. I'll give it an 8 out of 10.
All right.
There's one episode that was really boring and then could have made it, but could have been a perfect score. Like a filler. Didn't need to be there. That's Loki. Moving right along.
Mm-hmm.
Oldboy.
Oldboy. Yeah, I watched the I want to say 2004 Korean film Oldboy. Everybody loves this movie.
Very good.
They think it's the best thing since sliced bread. I hear it takes some inspiration from Greek tragedies about a man who gets drunk and then he gets locked in a room. 2003, sure. And then he gets locked in a room for like 15 years, and then he gets released in the room, and he has to find out why they put him in the room. It was okay. I didn't dislike it in any way, but I didn't super enjoy it either, if I'm being honest with you. It had an interesting premise. I would have liked to see more time in the room itself. I think they do that in the director's cut because I've heard about some cut scenes that I didn't see in the movie version I saw myself. But yeah, I honestly I just don't have a lot to say about it. It it had interesting moments, but it didn't grab me. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't really connect to any of the characters. And I thought the hypnotism plot was stupid.
It was pretty
So
stupid. I did watch the director's cut, and this is the only subtitled movie that I've ever sat through, and I believe it's 3 hours. The director's cut. It's
okay,
pretty fucking long, or some shit. Maybe it's 2.5. I don't remember. But
I think the movie itself was like 2 hours.
yeah. So man, the director's cut might have been like 2:30 or something. I don't remember. I can't remember. It was about a year and a half ago I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was neat, but that's about it.
Yeah. Okay. I would agree with that statement.
Yeah.
It's neat.
Neat.
Yeah.
It's a neat movie.
It doesn't like blow me away or anything. It's neat.
It was yeah. Because my buddy's like, you need to watch this movie. Like you'll love it. Like it's great. And I was like, all right. And he's like, but wait, it's subtitled. And I was like, okay. The only movie I've sat through subtitled, and it was neat.
Yeah. Well, I mean I've watched subtitled movies. I don't usually watch them, but I mean I'll sit through anything. I mean God knows I've seen enough anime that I'll fucking read subtitles. I don't give a shit. So for me it has nothing to do with the subtitles. It's just like I don't know. It really didn't do much for me.
Yeah, me either. I thought it was like a cool concept until the whole hypnotism thing.
Yeah, the hypnotism thing was real dumb.
That's pretty stupid.
I wasn't a fan of that. I mean, hypnotism is real, but it's like they make the like thing, or it's like you two are very susceptible to hypnotic suggestion, and I'm like, oh boy, that sure is an amazing plot convenience, isn't it? What if they responded poorly to hypnotism? Then the entire plot would fall apart.
Not wrong.
Like when this dude planned this fucking event, like the mastermind, when he planned this, he couldn't have known they would be extra susceptible to hypnotism. No, hypothetically, what if the main character was extra susceptible to hypnotism, but the fucking girl wasn't? What if she was like immune to it?
It would have been just done.
The entire plan would have failed. It's so stupid.
It's pretty, yeah, it's pretty dumb. But you know what's worse? The remake, the Americanized remake, is way worse.
Oh, I have heard. I didn't watch it.
Don't.
Hypnotism has to be used very carefully, is the problem.
That is true.
Or everything falls apart.
It will.
Mm-hmm.
So is it a watch it?
If you've heard of it and it sounds vaguely interesting, it's a rent. It's a rental.
Yeah. I'd say watch it too, because everyone has different tastes, so maybe it's something like somebody be like, I really like this movie. Like my buddy was like super into it. He's like, yeah, this is like a very good movie. But then I was like, I don't know, it's neat.
Hypnotism only works if you believe in it and you're willing to get hypnotized.
Yeah. Which I don't think he was.
Yeah. No, not really.
Yeah. I will say the fight scene in this movie are pretty cool though. I think that's what really like and like the part where he gets his tongue cut off.
Mm-hmm.
I like that part. That part was cool. But I mean, yeah. What would you give it for a rating?
Oh,
how many avocados? 5 avocados?
5. Oh, avocados? Oh, yeah. Like 20.
20 avocados? Okay.
Yeah, I don't like avocados.
I would give it 15 avocados.
That's fair.
Yeah. Not pitted. With a bite through the skin.
Yeah, I go like 5 out of 10, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, it's solid. If I were to rate things between buy, rent, and pass, I'd give it a rent.
Fair.
It's worth a view-in for sure.
Yeah. All right.
What did I forget?
What did Zach forget?
I don't know. Maybe I did. I'm willing to move on now.
Huh, okay.
Yeah, I really didn't have much to say about it. I just mostly went out there to throw out my controversial opinion that Oldboy is okay. Oh, the part where he fucks his daughter? I didn't care. Dog, I've seen so much anime, I don't give a shit who fucks who anymore.
I completely forgot about that, actually, until just...
I actually think the more controversial scene is the part where he eats that living squid.
How would that be more controversial than...
Because he ate a living squid. Like, that was a real squid.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah. Oh. They had to. They used a real squid for that. Like, the reason you don't see no animals were harmed in the making of this film is because animals were harmed in the making of the film.
Oh shit!
That scene where he's like, "I want to eat something living," and they give him like a squid, and he fucking eats it. The actor actually ate it, and they had to film that scene twice.
Oof.
And what's more is that the actor was vegan. Ooh. So, reportedly, he just vomited everything up at the end.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So that seems a little rough for me. Like, you see it, like, still twitching as he's, like, chewing, and it's like, ugh.
Yeah. Well,
because it's like an actual animal just being murdered.
Just like the Kennedys.
Yeah. I mean, it's not like he actually fucks his real daughter. And even if he did actually fuck his real daughter due to some real-life hypnotism bullshit, I still think that's a little less fucked up than eating a fucking living squid.
Well, now we know where Zach's morals lie.
Don't eat living animals. Yeah, that's where... I don't think that should be a controversial statement.
Yeah, but you can fuck your sister.
It was his daughter.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah. If you and your daughter are both hypnotized to not know that your daughter is your fucking father and daughter, and then you're fucking separated for like 15 years, and then you're also hypnotized to be attracted to each other, yeah, fuck your daughter. I don't give a shit. I feel you're justified in your daughter fucking. Maybe don't eat a living squid, though.
All right. Let's move on to someone that I want to fuck. Scarlett Johansson.
Okay.
This movie is Black Widow. This movie has been supposed to be out for a year and a few months now, and it finally came out, and I watched it.
It's like 2019 or something.
It was supposed to be last May, 2020, yeah. It was supposed to come out.
But I think they started.
Yeah, and then the whole thing happened. The Backstreet Boys reunion tour, and then had to get delayed about a year and a half. So Well,
Mhm.
a year and a few months, but anyways, it finally came out.
I hear it's not good.
It was I liked it. I didn't think it was, like, super great. I like the most of the solo movies, like, um, it's hard to really rank it because it's more like a movie that happened in the past now, so you, like there's only, like, the post-credit scene really sets anything up. It's more just, like, the story of what she did between Civil War and Infinity War. Um, but I mean, for what it was, like, if this movie came out last year, I think it would have been a better received just because, like, we've had
I think if this
WandaVision.
movie came out actually after Civil War, it would have been better received.
That is also true too, yeah, because it's like we already know what happens to her character, but I mean the stuff that it does set up in the movie is pretty cool. The story is pretty solid. Like it's all about the Red Room and stuff like that, and the person that runs Red Room, Dreykov, and all that. I'm not gonna go into spoilers with this movie since it's still out in theaters and people can go see it, even though you can just watch Loki and Disney Plus. The twists and stuff in it are pretty good. Taskmaster was solid. I like him as a villain. Um, yeah. Um, other than that, I mean, like, I'm not gonna get too into it. It was nice seeing Black Widow, the character, again after her inevitable demise in Endgame. It was nice to see like how she kind of grew up and like who she grew up with. Um, the setup was pretty good. It was like post credit scene. I'm not gonna go into that because it's kind of a spoiler for two different things. So definitely go see it. I gave it a solid 7 out of 10. So good for like a spy type of movie. It was pretty solid. And fucking David Harbour is one of the most hilarious people in that. Definitely go see it.
Pardon?
Yeah, fuck Hellboy, but that's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
Not gonna go to it. Black Widow.
Black Widow.
I mean, just look at that body. Anyways, moving right along to a movie I have not seen.
Which surprises me,
It
actually.
really surprises me. I've tried to watch it so many times, I just never got around to it.
Yeah, when you said that you didn't see this, I'm like, oh, really? Huh.
Yeah.
I watched Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. It is about two guys, Bill and Ted. And as it turns out, they are the most important people in all of history.
I play the video game though. I haven't seen the movie.
They
It's an NES
What?
game. It's fucking awful. Don't even look it up.
Okay. They are going to go on to create the band Wild Stallions, which is going to basically shape a future utopic society. Unfortunately, they're about to fail their history course. So, a man from the future named, I think, Ramus, comes back in time and delivers them a time machine in the form of a payphone.
What's a payphone?
And yeah, it delivers them a time machine in the form of a payphone for them to explore time and basically learn about history. And they go back in time and they meet a bunch of famous historical figures like Napoleon, Socrates, Joan of Arc, Billy the Kid.
His name is Rufus, by the way.
Oh, is it Rufus and not Raymond? Okay.
Yeah, I didn't know that much.
It was a rejected script for Doctor Who. Interesting.
That isn't. Yeah.
Sigmund Freud, Abraham Lincoln. I might be forgetting one or two other people.
Wasn't Genghis Khan?
Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
Yep, Genghis Khan was who I was forgetting. I think they do an inconsistent but interesting job of finding actors that looked like the historical figures. Interestingly enough, Napoleon is actually too short. Because it's actually a misconception that Napoleon was really short. That was actually spread by his enemies to make him seem less impressive. He was actually average height. But one of the like really impressive things they did was like the casting of Joan of Arc was one of the ones where I was like, damn, they did a pretty damn good job on Joan of Arc, because they have her with like the sort of like shortish, like boyish, like brown hair, and she has like dark eyes and stuff. And that is how like Joan of Arc actually looked. Like she's described as having a sort of like a mannish, like dark hair, dark eyes. She's also mentioned having a dark complexion, but they're like French, so I don't know how dark is dark. That could be anywhere from like she's actually black to she's like very tanned. That could mean anything. She was also described as being like relatively short with like a shapely figure, but they did a pretty good job of finding actors that looked like the characters they were trying to portray. Obviously, they weren't like 100%, but outside of actually using a fucking time machine. The opening of the movie is relatively slow, like the first 20 minutes, but once you get into it, it actually like really picks up and it gets pretty funny and has its moments. It's just a fun ride, just like a fun romp through history, I would say. They also have this amazing like Napoleon Waterloo pun at one point where like Napoleon goes to the Waterloo water park, and I'm like, oh, that's clever, that's fun, that's fun. They just have fun with it. It's just a fun movie. That's what I'll say.
They're like all at the mall, right?
Yeah, they go to the mall and they just start wrecking shit. Yeah.
Yeah, like I haven't seen the entire movie, but like I know what happens in it because I mean the movie's been out for what 30 fucking years now.
89.
Okay, so it's a year older than me, yeah. So.
Yeah. I'd give this one a recommendation. I'd say definitely rent this fucker.
Yeah, I still need to watch
honestly, it's so old. You might be able to buy it for cheaper than you can rent it. So maybe buy it. But like, it's worth a viewing for sure.
You can get that sweet VHS copy for 50 cents.
If you own a VHS player, do that maybe.
I had fun fact about VHS is I had a like a 6-month period when I would just buy random VHSs. Like this place I used to go to, like they just sold VHSs for 50 cents a pop. So I was just randomly collecting VHSs until like one day I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna do with these VHSs?
I'm gonna watch these? Am I gonna create a tower?
Yeah, like I was like, why am I buying these? Like I was just buying like nostalgic movies. Like I had like all 3 of the Aladdins for whatever reason on VHS. Like I found Ghostbusters on VHS. Couple of the Star Wars and shit. Like I don't know, just had them. I don't know. Just anyways, that was a VHS fun fact.
Mm-hmm.
Kroll.
I have Bogus Journey coming in the mail. So next time I'll report you on the next Bill and Ted movie.
And I believe the newer one is on HBO Max?
Or I have it coming after Bogus Journey.
Okay.
So next time we might even see a review of both of them at the same time. I don't know.
That is true. You can hook it up to an HDTV. I mean, I guess for nostalgia, popping that thing in, doing a little rewind real quick. I think I would do that just as a thing for my kid. Be like, hey, this is how I watched movies when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's about the extent of doing the VHS stuff. But I'll make her watch Willow on VHS. I have that. I kept that one because I'm like, nobody knows who fucking Willow is, but I do, and it's also one of the best NES games.
You're right. No one knows who Willow is.
Nobody knows who Willow is. Willow's fucking great.
Especially me.
Yeah. Well, if I can make a recommendation, watch Willow.
Okay.
It's a pretty solid movie. I believe it's on Disney Plus. I think, yeah.
Okay.
I
don't have that, but
well, if I can make a recommendation.
All right.
Get Disney Plus.
Maybe one day.
It's worth the $7.
Maybe when like all of the Marvel shows are done, I'll just watch it all at once and be like, okay, so controversial opinion, they're all terrible and I hated them all.
I'm not looking forward to that conversation.
It'll probably happen.
Willow was the name of my dead cat because of the movie. That's sad and also pretty awesome at the same time. Not awesome that Yukai died, but awesome that it was named after the movie.
I think that was implied, but good job on clarifying.
Thank you. All right, moving on.
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, this next one is yours. It is Dinner Time with Sack.
Yes, dinner time with Zach. Hey, what's going on?
Hey,
How was your day?
it was great.
Tell me all about that lady at work you hate.
Which one?
I'm very interested in your struggles.
And that was Dinner Time with Zach.
17 years is a good run for a cat.
Holy shit.
That's a good run for a cat.
The longest I had was 10.
Cats and dogs can go around 20. But then they start getting like huge health problems.
Yeah, my cat had leukemia.
Yeah.
He
Boy, Zach.
He was brought home on the same day I was born, and he died when I was 10.
Aw.
Yeah.
Pillow Boys is a fucking anime that I have watched. All right. So this is a Creative Commons image related to tabletop role-playing games, because I was originally going to talk about just 2 tabletop role-playing games and then make a recommendation, but apparently I don't understand how companies work. So so get ready for just a big old topic. Critical Role has finished Campaign 2. Here's my review of Campaign 2. Despite actually being longer, I actually think that I enjoyed the Campaign 1 more. I liked the characters in Campaign 1 more than the Campaign 2 characters. The Campaign 2 characters, I never felt like anyone specifically stood out or clicked with me. There was a very heavy focus on their specific journeys, and the whole plot line, there wasn't really an overarching plot line. It was more a plot line strewn together by the connections between the characters themselves. The problem is that because there was no overarching plot, the characters ended up just focusing on their own internal struggles and their own problems related to their backstories, which was an interesting way to do it, and I admire Matt for creating the effort. But what it also created was players that were so proactive in solving their own problems that many arcs would just end without any actual, like, fanfare to them. Like, they would just, like, I'm gonna solve a problem, like a Terminator, and then they'd solve the problem, and it ends up with, like, a lot less traumatic moments to it. It's more of a personal story, which I can see why more people would like that. But in the end, I kind of just like appreciate the epic fantasy that was Vox Machina. And I feel like of all of the moments in Campaign like 2 that stick with me, there's less moments in Campaign 2 that I will remember as opposed to Campaign 1, despite the length of Campaign 2 being like 20, 30 episodes longer. Like, I'll probably always remember like Vox Machina and like some of their zany adventures, like the Bard's Lament, Keyleth jumping off the cliff, Grog fucking cleaving Kavdek in half while jumping out of the fucking sky, Scanbo. But like Campaign 2, I think like what events am I most reminded of? And I'm like, they set a boat on fire at one point. I don't know. It just feels less memorable, more stripped down. So wasn't. Also, I didn't like the final villain. I wasn't super into Lucian. I thought he was kind of lame, honestly, and like I appreciate the sort of eldritch horror route they went with it, but I don't know. It just didn't stick with me. Eldritch horror is like very hard to do effectively, in my opinion. And I'm not quite sure it landed there. In Campaign 1, I had a lot of issues with like Matt's DMing, and I had a significantly less issues in this one. And I think a big part of it is because they converted from Pathfinder to 5th edition, and I think Matt just like knows 5th edition better, and he's more willing to because he understands it better. I think he was more able to deliver. So yeah, I think Campaign 2 definitely not my favorite. It was all right. I don't even know if I could recommend it because it's just so fucking long and it's such an investment. And honestly, I was gonna talk about this and one other campaign, And I was going to be like, here's something you can watch in the meantime now that campaign 2 is over. Except they started another fucking campaign, John.
Immediately? Jesus.
So they've started a campaign called Exandria Unlimited, which I might as well fucking review because there's already 3 goddamn episodes of it out. It has a different DM and a slightly different player cast. Matt's now a player and Liam's still a player, but other than that, there's like new people here. I would tell you who these people are, but I can't because it took me about 40 episodes before I learned the names of the Critical Role cast. And 3 episodes in, I'm sorry to say, I don't know who the fuck is playing in Exandria Unlimited. You can probably look it up. It takes place like 10 years after the Mighty Nine campaign and campaign 2. It's back in Teldorai, and it starts off on like Amon, and there's a new cast of characters. We don't get to see them get together. They're just already together after a party that they barely understand, which I think is how they just like phone in the start of the campaign. And they're dealing with like vestiges of divergence and drug dealers in this mysterious thieves guild, which I think is supposed to be more intimidating, but honestly they feel a little ass-pulley with how like seemingly omnipresent they are, which I think might be part of the point. I don't know. What I will say, I don't want to give any hate to the DM. She's doing a great job. So I want to say it's good. Like, I don't want anyone to be scared off being like, I'm not super into the I'm not super into the plot of it, but on a technical aspect, it's solid, nothing to complain about. Okay, onwards. Adventure Zone Graduation. I've talked about the Adventure Zone many, many times. I've even done a full review of Graduation, so I'm not going to get too far into what happens in the end of Graduation. I'm just going to say that I felt like Travis was the DM in Graduation. I definitely could see some of his more rookie stylings. I wasn't a big fan of how they focused too much on Griffin's character, Sir Fitzroy Maplecourt, who is an interesting character. Don't get me wrong, he's like probably the most interesting of the player characters. But it was too much. He was like the main character, and it kind of felt like the other 2 were literally his sidekicks, to the point where the game itself called them his sidekicks. Apparently they get a lot of shit because people weren't like super into Graduation. They say it's not as good as like Amnesty or like Balance, and I'm going to tell you this right now, they are never going to recapture what they did in Balance. No one will ever be able to do that again. But I actually liked Graduation more than Amnesty because I felt like Amnesty kept the characters too far apart, and I think D&D lends more to like having interpersonal like dialogues than more contemporary fantasy tabletop role-playing games. But yeah, I enjoyed Graduation. I'll say it wasn't the best thing they've ever done, but it ended in an okay point. Little bit of an anticlimax, but because they just talked it out. They talked no jutsu'd, but solid watch, I guess.
Talk no jutsu, you say?
Yeah, they use Techno Jutsu. Now, I was going to say, same thing with like Critical Role Campaign 2. I'm like, well, now that it's over, though, I have something you can watch while you're waiting for the new Adventure Zone campaign. But, John, guess what?
Season 3.
They also already started another fucking campaign. They've also already started the 6th Adventure Zone campaign. This one is called Ethersea, because... why the fuck not? They did a really interesting 5-part prologue, and honestly, the biggest worry I have with Ethersea is that I think the prologue, I'm worried, there's only 1 main episode and 5 episodes of prologue. I'm worried the prologue might be more interesting than the actual game itself, but we'll see. I don't want to write Ethersea off too early. This is also a D&D game. Griffin is DM again, which I'm sure everyone was like, yay, Griffin's back! But I thought Travis did an okay job. Don't feel down, Travis. I know you felt a little beat up about it, but I think you did a fine job. But yeah, 5 parts prologue. They play this like map-making cartography game where they like work together to create the world that they're in, and it was fucking fascinating. If I can recommend anything, watch them fucking build the Ethersea world. They have like characters and like arcs and like the struggles they have to deal with as it's going. Very good prologue. The first episode, they seem to be like adventurers trying to get a ship and they're going on like a sea adventure, but the whole thing is underwater because the world has already been destroyed. So interesting to see where Ethersea is going. I'm more excited about that than Exandria Unlimited because, as I've made no secret before, I'm generally more of an Adventure Zone fan than a Critical Role fan. So, and that brings us to what I was going to recommend you watch now that Critical Role and Adventure Zone had wrapped up, but Critical Role and Adventure Zone are businesses, so they can't have dead weeks, so they immediately launched into new campaigns. But Hololive Mythbreakers. Are you familiar with Hololive at all, John?
No.
Okay, so do you know what a VTuber is?
Yes.
Okay, great. So Hololive is a large, I think maybe even the largest VTuber company. And they recently, like last year or so, created an English branch because they were used to be a pure Japanese in Indonesia, and they also had a Chinese branch that got cut off. But they created an English branch, and so called like Hololive Myth, and the English branch has come together under Calliope as the storyteller to play a tabletop role-playing game. And this was what I was going to recommend while you were taking a break from those, but fuck it, I'm going to recommend it anyway. Where Callie is running a game in not Dungeons & Dragons, but in Hunter the Vigil, which is a World of Darkness role-playing game, which has like vampires and werewolves all in a contemporary setting. The first session has not aired, but the 4 prologue sessions have aired, and we got to see them make the general idea for the characters in one stream, and then they each character had its own prologue for Tiara, Yule, Watoto, and Scout. And they are all very good. You can tell that Callie's a little bit shaky as storyteller, but that's more of a technical skill that can be refined, and honestly she's doing a great job, and her story is fucking interesting. Like, if I'm talking about just like plot lines that have been laid out, I think I'm more interested in the Mythbreakers campaign than I am in Exandria Unlimited and Ethersea. Just like, this is the plot, and I'm like, oh, I am fucking down to see where this is going. The only downside I can see for watching the Mythbreakers campaign is, unless you can like find an updated playlist and you can subscribe to that playlist, they rotate who is hosting the streams for the campaign itself, and they're going to rotate across like all 5 girls. So if you wanted like ground floor announcements, you'd probably have to just subscribe to all 5 of them. But if you don't want that, which, I mean, I would recommend subscribing to all 5 of them anyway, because Hololive Ian is great. But if you don't want that, you can probably find someone's like YouTube playlist, and you can probably subscribe to that, and YouTube will tell you when the playlist is updated. So that might be an alternative way to do that. But yeah, they're doing Hunter the Vigil. Very interesting. Very good prologues. Very strong. A lot of good prologues so far. And yeah, that was it. Those were the D&D podcasts I would recommend, or the role-playing game podcasts.
So, to go back to who's in the new campaign, it's Matt Mercer, Ashley Johnson, Robbie Damon, who's actually like super awesome, and a whole Peter Parker and a whole, and Amy Carrero, which I don't know.
She's, I think, the one I recognize, kind of like. Oh, was she actually She-Ra?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. She-Ra's really good if you haven't seen it, by the way. She-Ra, if you have Netflix, watch She-Ra.
Yeah, it's I believe it's my watch list. Robbie also did the voice of Goro Akechi.
Okay, cool.
He's been in a lot of shit. Like, you definitely recognize.
I'm sure I would recommend all of them if I heard.
Yeah. But other than that, oh yeah, that's right. He's also in Digimon. And I'm a He-Man guy.
New He-Man show coming out from
Kevin Smith.
Silent. I was going to say Silent Bob. Thank you.
Yeah, Mark Hamill's Skeletor, and that's fucking awesome.
I hear they're going to kill Sheep Man in the first episode and then replace him with a lady.
That'd be pretty cool. I'm Skeletor. We don't get that voice anymore, but you know, it's Mark Hamill, so you can't go wrong. He's the best Joker.
I agree with you completely.
Thank you. So there's one thing Sack and I can agree on: I love a Mark Hamill Joker.
Mark Hamill Joker, best Joker. Yeah,
He is
no,
best Joker.
yeah,
Sorry, hands down. Moving right along.
yeah. I'm ready to move on.
Okay, I'm actually gonna skip the next one and actually save it for next month, just to keep it a little shorter, and because I'll have more to talk about next month, so I'm just gonna.
Oh,
Skip
I
it.
thought you were talking about the anime.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch season 2 too. So
Oh, you haven't. Okay,
Yeah, I
okay,
haven't
okay.
finished
Fair.
all of it, so I'm actually gonna watch seasons 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then come back. Yeah, I'm gonna watch the one that you watched. I've never watched the whole thing, so I'm actually going to go.
I was young, but I really appreciated the relationship between the brothers. I thought it was really well done and strong. But I was also like 10.
I'm actually, yeah, that would, yeah. Yeah, 'cause, we're talking about Digimon, so everyone knows. I was gonna give a quick review on the first season, but I'm just gonna watch all the English stuff I can, and then I'm gonna go to the Japanese. I'm so obsessed with this stuff right now. At this point, I'm watching all the stuff that you can't watch in English and Japanese, like the first 3 movies that were crammed into one English dub. I'm gonna watch those in Japanese because apparently the third one has like 30 minutes missing. That makes it a lot better. So I'm gonna watch it. And no Angela Anaconda, so that's pretty cool. Anyone knows what I'm talking about? Yeah, you forgot the.
Did I?
Anyway, so we're gonna skip that and go to the next the secondary topic after that.
Okay.
We're
John,
gonna.
I don't really think you're ready for this next topic.
Am I?
I genuinely don't think so. Are you aware Naruto is my second favorite anime character of all time?
No, I didn't.
Are you aware that Naruto is the first manga I ever owned?
No.
Are you aware that after I got out of Hurricane Katrina, when I was in a fucking hotel room and I was like trying to chill out and get my bearings, I saw the the U.S. premiere of episode 3 of fucking Naruto?
No.
Okay, so like Naruto has a fucking special place in my heart, and I have a lot of opinions about Naruto. No, I don't think it's the greatest thing ever, obviously, but I have a lot of opinions about this show.
Fair enough. That's
I talked about for like 30 minutes during my Yakuza 0 playthrough on Naruto alone about how I would fix the ending of it.
So I'm strictly just talking Naruto, not Shippuden. Mostly because I can't find all the fucking English versions of the goddamn show. It's been out for 2 years now. Can't
I
watch
have actually
them.
seen every episode of this anime.
So
Even the fillers.
I see. So the first time I watched Naruto, I watched everything, filler included. This time I skipped all
Never
the
do
fucking
that.
filler. Yeah, I skipped all the filler.
You
So I was like,
did watch episode 101 where they try to unmask Kakashi, right? Because that sometimes gets flagged as a filler, but that episode is actually canon.
I did not skip that one, even though it was flagged as filler because I do like that episode.
Okay, because that episode is actually canon. The thing with Naruto is sometimes there gets false filler flags on some of the episodes because Naruto is such an in-depth adaptation that they don't just adapt the manga. They also adapt things that released in data books, which is where the Kakashi things comes from, and they also adapt stuff that comes in from the novels. So sometimes there are false flags on like Naruto filler because it didn't come from the manga itself, even though it came from other official sources.
Yeah, I noticed that made. You can get them by other means, which I'm trying to do right now, but I'm just not gonna sit here and spend $20 for 6 episodes of Naruto because there's like 500 fucking episodes of it. So that'll add up real good. That's what my sister-in-law is actually doing that. She just started watching Naruto, so she bought all of Naruto on DVD, and she's buying all of Shippuden on her DVD. She buys one a month, and good luck to her. Good luck to her. Hell no, I'm not doing that.
Exactly 500, actually.
Yeah, it's exactly 500 for Shippuden. I think 321 or something for Naruto, some shit like that.
Yeah, something.
Oh, they have a 13 episodes a set. That's That's still a lot though.
220.
220. Okay. By 101. Anyways, yeah, I skipped all the filler this time, so I watched strictly the non-canon or strictly the canon episodes, including the Kakashi Unmasked one, just because I really do like that one. That's a pretty good filler episode. It's like, the Goku and Piccolo drives a car one. You just don't skip it.
It's not filler. It's canon.
Is it canon?
It's canon.
Oh, I thought it was.
Like I said, yeah, that one gets false flagged as not canon, but the Kakashi unmasking jokes appeared in like the data books. Naruto adapts everything.
Yeah, like literally everything. And there's just some shit that you can skip. I did make it to. I can't remember. I think 170 something on Putin. I'm gonna try to watch the rest of it. So yeah, you get.
That's probably right around where I stopped watching Shippuden.
But
I couldn't take it anymore after the Zombie Brothers arc, and it looked like they were gearing up for another fucking filler arc. I was like, I'm fucking done with this.
They get right into another filler arc, and then
it's the most insane thing ever. It's like 50 episodes of filler, 3 episodes. We have the Zombie Brothers. I'm like, yeah, Zombie Brothers, fuck yeah! And then the Zombie Brothers die, and then it's like, we're getting ready for another filler arc, and I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah, that's the Three Tails arc. I'm pretty sure right after that one, yeah. Which is actually the Three Tails arc isn't bad. I just didn't want to watch like 30 episodes of filler, so I just skipped. It's pretty cool because there's like a lot of like Hinata and Naruto stuff in that arc, and it's pretty cool because it kind of like evolves that relationship. But I didn't need to watch it again.
Well, what you have to understand, John, is that I'm old and I watched Naruto as it was releasing. So when I went through the 50 episodes of Naruto filler and then got 3 episodes of Zombie Brothers before they went into another filler arc, there was nothing past that. There was no skipping. That was it.
See, that's why I patiently awaited it for it to become streamable so I could watch it all. Because I remember 10 years ago it was when it was running, because like I had a couple people I worked with that were super into it. They're like, yeah, you should watch it. I'm like, nah, I'll just wait. And here we are 11 years later, and I'm still patiently waiting to watch it all in one place, which it blows my mind because it's owned by Viz, and like not even on their website you can only watch it up to a certain point.
I have to finish Shippuden at some point because it's one of the anime I have marked as dropped, and we all know I'm going on that journey to have never dropped an anime. But
I mean, I might honestly, I may just break down and watch it in Japanese.
Yeah.
But see, the thing is, like, I have it. I don't. I shouldn't say this, but I watch it while I'm on like driving to work. I have, like,
is it even fully dubbed? That might be the problem you're running into.
Fully dubbed, yeah.
Oh.
It's fully dubbed. It's been fully dubbed for 2 years now.
Oh wow!
Like it finished in like 2019 or something like that, or maybe 2018. So it's not like it's still dubbing. Like it's fully dubbed. You can buy every single episode on DVD. Which no, because then I'm gonna have a shit ton of DVDs, and I can't watch.
Welcome to me and Kill la Kill and Recreators.
Yeah, I can, I like to watch it on my phone while I'm at work, So, and like that's what I did with Naruto. Like I literally watched it all on Netflix on my way to work, at work. I watched it while I was playing games up on my third monitor. It was convenient. I had to buy it on DVD. Only watch it at home, and that's stupid annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are dubbing. Yeah. See, that's the thing. They have episodes. They have like, I want to say like 70 episodes of Boruto dubbed, but Shippuden's still not fucking finished yet, and that blows my fucking mind. I don't like it. It's been like that for 3 years on fucking Hulu now. Like they've had the same episodes like on Hulu, and like it's just it's ridiculous. It pisses me off. Anyways, getting to the show instead of bitching about why I can't watch it dubbed. After watching this the second time, I've still enjoyed it pretty much. Skipping the filler, it was especially in the last episode, because the last episode is half non-canon, half canon. So like it talks about the arc that I completely skipped over, and then it's like, yeah, we're leaving. I'm like, okay, cool, believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, did I love halfway through the season when he stopped saying that. That was really good shit. I got really tired. I got tired of it by like the 7th episode. I'm like, I hate it.
Oh, if you've never seen Japanese Naruto, I'm gonna blow your mind. The English opening is fucking actually less obnoxious than the Japanese opening.
Is it?
Yeah. Where it's like, hua, yeah, see ya, bye, see what's up. You watch the Japanese one, the singer's voice makes my ears bleed.
Really? Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. No thanks. Just be lucky it's streamable. When I want to watch Rurouni Kenshin, I only get it non-streamable, but also.
Rurouni Kenshin is streamable on both Netflix and Verve.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah, it's definitely streamable now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I believe it's in my watch list on Netflix actually, or Verve. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's where I watched half of it on Verve, and then I stopped watching it.
I think it's on Hulu.
I didn't like dislike it or anything. I just kind of lost interest.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's on Hulu. Actually, now that I think. But which dub? Good question. Let me pull this up while I talk about.
I'm not even sure if I was watching it dubbed.
Let me see. It's on. Anyways, it's a solid story. I really like the Naruto Sasuke thing, even though it does get really annoying towards the end where they're it's like just fucking kiss already, guys. Like just fucking kiss.
They do.
I kind of.
No, I mean they actually do. They cut it out in the English version though.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. It doesn't say which dub it is,
It
but it is on,
it is dubbed on Verb.
Yeah, it's dubbed on Hulu as well.
Yeah.
Or made out of like, and sounds awful. I'm not sure.
That sounded like 90s voice acting to me, if that answers your question. Anyway, yeah, Naruto. Definitely, there's a charm to early Naruto that isn't necessarily as present in Shippuden, although Shippuden later gets much heavier into its themes. So there's definitely goods and bads to both parts of Naruto, I should say. Yeah, it's a good show. Nice classic piece of like anime history.
It really is. I can say I do like Shippuden better when you skip all the unnecessary bullshit. Just because there's real stakes in it too, especially like if you already know what's going to happen too. Like when I watched it raw for the first time a few years ago, like it was, and even with watching it with the fucking filler, it was like one of the things like okay, like even like the first like 20 episodes, like Naruto gets back and they're like already off to like the Sand Village to go fight Nakatsuki.
Oh yeah, they fucking open that shit. Yeah. That is Data and Sasori.
Yeah, which the Sasori, like I still love that fight. Watching it again, like the first time I was like, oh wow, Sakura is actually useful, and then yeah, turns out,
she's useful as a literal like
puppet
punching device. Yeah, because she's not actually dodging.
She's got to punch everything.
Chio's dodging for her. She's the one that's just applying the strength to the punching.
It's that's true. I mean, it's still really like it's just because like Shippuden has like all the better fights in my opinion. Like the only like one that really stands out to me in Naruto is like obviously Rock Lee and Gaara. And then
I was gonna say Naruto versus Gaara and Naruto versus Sasuke are two very strong fights.
Yeah, I like the Zabuza stuff. Like Zabuza is like one of my favorite characters in Naruto.
Zabuza is really cool. Yeah.
Mostly because he's voiced by Steve Bloom, and Steve Bloom's awesome. And Haku's like a really cool character too. When they come back in Shippuden, it's
lame.
Awesome.
It sucks. Yeah, no. See, that's part of how I would fix Naruto. I'd cut the war arc entirely, like
really?
Out, gone. I'd just kill it.
Fair enough.
It doesn't need to be there. It makes the story actively worse. It would be just gone for me.
Fair enough. I liked it because it brought back characters that I enjoyed.
See, that's the problem for me. They should have just stayed dead. Like 90% of the characters they brought back died so well that bringing them back just to like kill them offhandedly is lame.
Fair enough.
Like Zabuza and Haku just get like thrown out like they're fucking trash. Like they become like fodder now, which makes no sense because they were supposed to be like top of their game before. Like when Haku's introduced, Kakashi even states, Haku is stronger than me.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, woo, kill them both at the same time. Woo, I'm Kakashi. Asuma comes back just to die unceremoniously. It's just so fucking lame what they do with all of the characters.
I definitely don't like the Asuma one because like Asuma's death, like that's another death scene that like always gets me too. Like he has a really good death scene, and I like the whole like, what's her name is pregnant too is like that makes that scene,
Kurenai.
Yeah, Kurenai, yeah. Like that makes that scene like so much more enjoyable too, and like
so much more impactful even.
Yeah, like the deaths and like everything in like between like Naruto and Shippuden, like the fights and everything, like everything has a reason, it has an impact. Like when you go back to stuff like Dragon Ball Z, it's like it's just Goku fighting motherfucker. Like that's what it is. I mean, like it's a save the world, save the universe type thing. But with Naruto, it's either like I need to fight this guy because he's just being an asshole, like Gaara, and he needs to like understand that, like, hey, we're like the same person. Like I understand how you feel. Like that's his whole thing. Like he doesn't think that anyone understands how you feel, but that's why he finds that friend in Naruto, and that makes it when like he comes back during like the whole Sasuke retrieval arc more impactful because he's like in like the beginning of Naruto when he's talking about how Naruto changed his views on the world, how he changed his life, and he wants to become a better person. Like that fight makes a whole list of things happen, which is fucking awesome.
Naruto should have stopped at pain. Because that was when the show thematically ended anyway.
Yeah.
And like the whole war arc past that is just it's just there because they had plot threads that weren't wrapped up yet.
Yeah, like Pain honestly would have been a very good ending just because it's like what you said, like everything that happens like up to that. But they have to obviously pay off the Madara stuff and all the other stuff. Which, I mean, sure. I mean, I think that if they would have just kept Toby and just made him like this dumbass character, I would have been fine with that because he's fucking hilarious. He
should have been Madara. Obito shouldn't have been a thing at all.
Yeah, like when he originally when I watched it and he's like, "Oh, I'm Madara," I'm like, "Oh shit!" Like,
yeah,
that's cool. And then when he's like revealed to be Obito, I'm like, so that's the only reason why they had those two episodes where they introduced
Obito.
Because I think it's right before the Sasuke and Deidara fight. Like they have, like,
he doesn't fucking do anything.
Doesn't. Like I got crushed, but I survived somehow, and I found this old man in a cave, and he's like, "You want to live, kid?"
No. I genuinely want you to think about this. Obito, once he comes back and it's revealed he was alive the whole time, doesn't fucking do anything.
No, he literally just stands there for like...
If he was replaced with Madara the entire time, not only would nothing of the plot have changed, it would have been a better plot.
He kind of just stands around during the war arc. He's like, hey, I'm here. I mean, he kind of has that thing with Kakashi, but that's about it.
Yeah, who gives a fuck? They had their moment when Obito died. Think about that.
Yeah, like they just had those two random episodes where it's like Kakashi like leading the team for his first time with like Minato, and like then it's like, yeah, this is Rin and Obito. Then you're like, okay, cool. Why? And then you find out it's him. You're like, that's why. That's why we needed 2 episodes.
Made claims that Obito was made before Madara, and I actually genuinely don't know if that's true. Because Madara is introduced in the Valley of the End, and I might be remembering incorrectly, but I believe the Obito War Arc flashback with Kakashi actually occurred after Valley of the End. So I believe Madara was even introduced first, because they introduce Madara at Valley of the End.
Yeah, because they don't introduce Obito until Shippuden.
Obito is introduced in Side Story 1, Mission Start, Chapter 239. Whereas, let's see, Day of Departure, Idiot, Sasuke, Naruto is unwilling to wait. Yep, and Naruto already left, which means Valley of the End already occurred.
Neat.
Which means Madara was introduced before Obito.
Yeah.
Yep. That's what I thought. I thought that wasn't true. I was like, no, I'm pretty sure Madara came first.
Yeah, who came first, Madara or Obito, or the chicken or the egg?
Madara.
The egg.
Both chronologically and in release order.
Anyways, yeah, I want to obviously finish it by any means necessary. Even if I get a virus on my phone.
Oh dear.
But I mean, it is what it is. Like, it just, like, I might just watch it subbed. It's just gonna be more of a pain in the ass because, like, I have to pay attention to it at that point instead of just kind of like listening and watching at the same time. I only made it up to halfway through the war arc. The first time I watched it, I didn't finish it because the dubs just weren't done yet. So I couldn't finish it. That's why I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll wait a couple years and come back to it, which I did, and I still can't watch it easily. I will say it's definitely one of the greats for a reason, because it's a very wholesome story.
Amazing character development.
Yeah, like
Naruto is not the same person at the beginning as he is at the end.
Yeah, like the arcs for every character is great. Like the Itachi stuff, and like
some of them.
I like the Itachi stuff a lot. Like the whole like Itachi fight, and then like when Madara is telling Sasuke about what actually happened. I love those. Those are like the last couple episodes I watched.
Oh, the Itachi fight is really clever, because if you're actually paying attention, you will know that Jiraiya mentions that he has a spy in the Akatsuki organization. So when it's revealed that Itachi was the spy the whole time, you're just like, yo, they set that shit up.
Yeah. That
and then you think back like, oh shit, Itachi did leave Kurenai and Kakashi alive for seemingly no fucking reason.
Yeah, and like watching the fight a second time, like you can see where he's like kind of holding back and stuff too, which is really cool. Because like the first time I obviously didn't know that, because I'd never read the manga. I never somehow it never got spoiled for me. So like watching all that stuff the first time was like, wow, this is a really cool fight. And then figuring out, then watching it the second time and like noticing those little things that he does is really cool. So like rewatches in this series are like pretty neat, because you notice stuff that you didn't necessarily know beforehand, and now you're like rewatching it through a different lens, and it's way cooler.
Yeah, there's also that scene where Itachi implants the Sharingan into Naruto. That they set up well into the start of Shippuden.
Oh, and when they're doing like the fight or whatever with Granny, and
where Itachi's supposed to hold him off and he shoves a Sharingan into Naruto. Yeah, they set that shit up early,
which is it's very cool.
Well, it shows that Kishimoto knew where he was going, and then once you get to the war arc, it's just like it slips off the rails, and it's like, my genuine theory is he wanted to end in the war arc because he said this is the final arc of Naruto, and then Shonen Jump made him keep going with it like they did Toriyama during the Buu arc, and I think he just wanted to tank it. I think he purposefully tanked the ending of the series. Because like the writing quality just dips, and like they start pulling out shit that was never properly set up, like aliens, and you're like, how the fuck did we get here?
Oh, Boruto.
Yeah. Well, no, aliens were introduced in Naruto.
Yeah, Kaguya. The
which
Thanos.
I love her design and personality. And I love Kaguya as a character and an idea. I'd cut her completely.
She's the final boss. She's the final boss.
I genuinely love her. I think she has a very interesting dynamic and personality and design and power set and all of that. She has no business being in the show.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's great. I enjoyed rewatching Naruto again and rewatching the episodes of Shippuden I did watch. When I finish Shippuden, I'll come back and actually talk about it more. Because I still haven't seen any of the Kaguya stuff and like end of the Great War and all that stuff. So I'd really like to finish it so I can actually like see it in my own lens and kind of, even though I know what happens in the series, I want to see it for myself and stuff like that. Kaguya is a Persona final boss.
You know what? She is 100% correct.
Yeah.
That is a 1-to-1. She does come off like a Persona boss. You have an entire villain that's set up the entire time, and then bam, random god right at the end. And you're like, all right, I don't feel like this was led into all that great, but sure.
Yeah, my buddy Eric, who actually got me into Naruto, always referred to her as the Thanos of the Naruto universe. Like just the final thing that they got to fight, just to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Like, it's inevitable.
Well, it actually ends with a Naruto and Sasuke fight, but...
Fair enough, yeah.
Which is a really well done fight. I'd have done it earlier. That fight should have happened before Pain.
Yeah.
I'd have wrapped the Sasuke shit up earlier. I would have wrapped the Sasuke shit up after he kills Itachi.
Yeah, but he needed to go on that other journey for whatever reason.
You mean the journey where, and this is Sasuke's actual final journey, he decides, oh shit, my brother actually killed my entire family as part of the Leaf Village. I'm going to kill the entire Leaf Village. Actually, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to save the Leaf Village. Actually, never mind. I'm going to become the leader of the Leaf Village. Ah, shit. Naruto's going to be the leader of the Leaf Village. Ah, never mind. I'm just going to go on a journey and abandon my family. That's Sasuke in the middle of this just ping-pongs between plot points because Kishimoto had no idea what to do with him anymore.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Because like you think like after the whole like Itachi stuff, you're like, okay, now I need to go home. But he's like, nah, I need to do revenge again.
New revenge. And he like starts almost like looking up to Itachi. He's like, Itachi was pretty cool. I'm gonna kill the entire Leaf Village for Itachi. And then it's like, wait, wasn't Itachi's whole thing about putting the Leaf Village before everything else? And Sasuke's like, don't think about it.
Yeah, that's what didn't make sense about the whole revenge against the Leaf. Like, he did it for the village because he loved the village so much.
Yeah.
Like, he did it for the village. Like, it's not because they told him to do it. He's like, I want to do this. Because he could have...
Well, they did tell him to do it, but he could have said no.
Yeah, he could have been like, no. He did it because he loved the village and he left you alive, you dumb shit. So stop doing this shit. I'm an Avenger. Exactly, see? He's an Avenger.
Yeah, no, after Itachi dies, Sasuke should have had like a mental awakening where he realizes everything he did was kind of for nothing. And that would have imagine how much more interesting his character as an arc would have been after that moment. Like maybe he does lash out and has his final battle with Naruto or something. And then he has to come to terms with everything he thought was a lie. How much more interesting would that have been than I'm angry as a character?
Also, shout out to Yuri Lowenthal, who does the voice of him, who's also my favorite Peter Parker.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, he the voice actor's fine.
Even though he has no job for like 40 episodes until they're like, we've got to find Sasuke again.
Yeah. Orochimaru never should have come back. It should have ended at Pain. I'm just saying, I would have cut the whole arc. I could literally fix the ending of Naruto.
Fair enough.
And another thing, Pain wouldn't bring anyone back. Everyone would be dead. I'd leave everyone dead. I think it would be more interesting, especially because there was that whole dialogue when Tsunade was in a coma and everyone was dead, where it's like, hey, who do we put in charge of this village? And with Kakashi dead, because when Tsunade was in a coma, there was 3 options. It was Danzo, Kakashi, and Naruto. Kakashi dead, Tsunade in a coma. I'd have wrapped Sasuke's bullshit up. Danzo would be dead. In fact, I wouldn't have wrapped Danzo's shit up entirely. I would have used Sasuke and I would have brought him up against Danzo, but then I would have have wrapped that into Sai's arc, because we have Sai in this plotline for whatever reason, and I'd have had an awakening about Sai realizing that maybe he shouldn't stick with Danzo, and I would have made a whole arc out of that. But then at the end, once the village is destroyed, it's like, well, who do we make Hokage? There's no one else. It's got to be Naruto. Could you imagine young, inexperienced Naruto being put in charge of having to rebuild his village in a mountain of corpses? And, like, how much more interesting would it be? Like, Naruto is, at that point, the strongest fucking ninja on the goddamn planet. So, like, the Leaf Village would be almost destroyed, and you could argue it would no longer be one of the great shinobi villages anymore, but it just has this invincible nuclear warhead that no other like village would want to fuck with, that Naruto could protect, and he'd have to like learn to be a leader and lead his people and like grow up as like things go on. And he would still have his alliance with the Sand Village, but it would be like them versus the other villages. Like, my fucking sequel for Naruto in this scenario wouldn't have anything to do with Boruto. It would have to do with like Naruto learning to be a leader and having to deal with like the politics and like possible threats from, say, like the Lightning Village, which has had a long-standing rivalry with them and stuff like that. There's so much more interesting bullshit you could have done, and they went the exact wrong direction.
Fair enough. I always forget about Danzo because his shit's so inconsequential to me that I always forget.
Oh, because they botch it. Danzo could have been cool, but they botched it.
Yeah.
And the Sharingan needs to stop having new powers.
No. You gotta have the Mangekyo, and then the infinite Tsukuyomi, and then you gotta have all the other abilities.
Yes. I fucking dare you to name every power the Sharingan has, John.
I just named 2 of them. Obviously, regular Sharingan. And then
which does what? What does regular Sharingan do?
It can copy skills and shit, bruh. And it sees stuff. Good
No.
eye. I don't know. Who knows?
I do. It's a lot. That's my problem with it. It has too many fucking abilities.
It's a strong visual jutsu.
Fucking terrible, and I hate it.
Visual prowess. Sorry, it's not. It can open visual.
Sharingan was so much cooler when it was like it did like 3 things.
Yeah, when Kakashi uses it for the first time, you're like, "Wow, this thing's cool."
Yeah, it's really fucking cool. And they lead into it so interestingly with that plot point where Sasuke's like, "The fuck did he get that eye? That's only part of my clan, and my whole clan's fucking dead. Where the fuck did that come from?"
It came from Obito, who's definitely not coming back.
Yeah, they set up this whole fucking like mystery, and then it's just like, my dead friend gave it to me. Beep boop.
I mean, it's a solid way to, because then everyone wants to steal people's eyes. It's all about stealing eyes.
Well, I mean, no, that is a plot point about stealing eyes, though.
Yeah,
like that they do bring that back because they steal like the Byakugan and shit.
Yeah, and the Renegon and all that shit.
Oh yeah. Well, the Renegon was a gift.
Yeah.
The Renegon should have nothing to do with the Sharingan. It should be just a third eye. It's fucking stupid bullshit.
Just gotta have all the eyes though, man.
Ugh.
You gotta have the Bakugan. Because the Bakugan. You gotta have the little Bakugan balls.
There's a really interesting plot twist in Bakugan.
Yeah, they're actually all Byakugans.
They're all eyeballs.
They're all eyeballs, yeah.
They gave Boruto some dumb Byakugan like side ability, which is the most baffling thing to me ever, because the whole because there's a movie dedicated to the Tessengan, which is an awakened Byakugan, and fucking Boruto has the exact blood type and genealogy required to unlock the Tessengan. So why does he have some special stupid eye technique no one has ever heard of when he should just have the Tessengan?
Who knows?
What are they doing? How do you set something up like that and then drop the ball?
Because fuck him, that's why.
God
something he'll unlock later in the series.
Naruto is so frustrating because it could have been better.
Well, it gives a watch it for me. Just skip the filler.
Himawari.
Who's apparently the strongest character in Boruto.
Because she one-shots Naruto in the nuts.
Yeah.
In her defense, she had the Byakugan activated so she could see pressure points, and she gentle fisted him in the fucking dick, which means she didn't just hit him in the dick, she hit him in a precise point in the dick where it would deal the most damage.
I love it.
Now, the most impressive part about that is Naruto doesn't experience pain like a normal person.
I thought you were going to say the most impressive part is Naruto doesn't have a dick.
I've always suspected that Naruto is fucking packing heat, to be honest with you.
I mean,
like the way he walks, just in general, the way he walks is always like he's like carrying something in there, and like his whole personality. I've just always assumed Naruto has the hugest dick.
Yeah, she pulled out the nut punch.
But yeah, no, I think the most impressive part about one-shotting Naruto isn't just that he's Naruto, it's that Naruto doesn't experience pain like a normal human, because he's borderline immortal and regenerates almost instantly. Like there's actually a scene in Hot Springs where Sasuke's sword impales Naruto through the stomach, and Naruto looks down at the sword just like kind of bored, and then pulls it out and goes, oh, and then inside his like head, Kurama's like, oh, stop faking it, you idiot. Which knows that while impaled through the gut with a fucking katana, Naruto has to pretend to be in pain. So I want you to imagine how fucking hard he got hit in the dick. That it actually did anything to him.
The nut punch from around the world.
Yeah, just, oh god! Somehow worse than being stabbed.
The ultimate jutsu.
All
right, let's move it right along. Go watch Naruto.
Yeah.
It's good. Skip the filler though, because
skip the fillers for the love of God.
Skip the fucking filler. But watch it because it's really good. But skip the filler. And just watch up until pain. All right.
Fair.
All right. So next we get to dartboard. Zach, what is dartboard?
Actually, John, you're hosting this time, so this is yours.
Oh, what is dartboard? It's our anime monthly book club. We all watch the same thing. Then share our thoughts on it. Like, did we like it? Was it entertaining? Did we finish it? Who knows?
Oh, dear.
Take it away, Zach.
All right. So,
what did we watch?
We watched Love Live School Idol Project, which was part of a multimedia idol project created by Studio Sunrise, famous for Gundam. And what's going to be important about this episode is this is going to turn into a fucking war. Because unequivocally, Love Live School Idol Project is the best dart we have ever watched in the history of this podcast.
Well, you are correct, because I watched 2 episodes and said no. I did not finish the series. Because I was like, I can't do it. Also, I was watching it at work and I was like, what the fuck are you watching? I was like,
okay.
It's my podcast.
So it sounds like you turned it off more out of shame than anything.
It was a little bit of I couldn't get into it. I couldn't. Like I tried. I even like rewatched it again from like the first episode just to see.
John and his Note 7 ass. Yes.
You know what, mate? I will accept that. I will accept that because I couldn't do it. I could. It wasn't as bad as Pat Labor. I'll say that. I'm not saying it's bad.
You still mean Skycrawlers.
That one. I was gonna mix it. I'm not saying it's a bad show, bad anime, anything. I'm just saying it couldn't hold my attention because I have terrible attention.
Mm-hmm. I think you don't. I think part of it is you have to kind of meet this one on its own terms. It surprised me the direction it went with it. But real quick, what I will say about Love Live School Idol Project is Love Live School Idol Project is just season 1, and there is a lot of Love Live like as a series. Like there's Love Live School Idol Project Season 1, Love Live School Idol Project Season 2, there is an OVA, there is a movie, there is a spin-off series called Love Live Sunshine, there is a Love Live Sunshine Season 2, there is Love Live Sunshine the movie Over the Rainbow, and there is another spin-off called Love Live Najigasaki School Idol Club, I think. And that's getting a second season. And then there's also a fourth spinoff in the works that I think is coming out either this year or next year called Love Live Superstar.
Neat. Also, really random, but it popped in my head. The guy who directed the Boy and the Beast also directed the first 2 Digimon.
Yes, I mentioned that during Boy and the Beast.
Did you? Okay. I don't know why I just thought of that again. Go on.
Okay, so all I was saying is it's very expansive. There's a whole host of like songs and concerts and all of that stuff. And the reason I bring it up is because, John, I've watched every single episode and movie of this show. I've watched the second season of this. I watched the OVA. I watched the movie. I watched the spin-off Sunrise, Season 2 of Sunrise, the movie Sunrise. I watched Najigasaki.
Sack's like Goku right now. And this is to go even further.
I have watched all of Love Live, the entirety of it.
Also, it was a pain in the ass to watch, too.
Oh, yes, but don't go further into that. But yes.
I would say that. It was easier than Shippuden, but it was a pain in the ass.
Yes. Okay, Love Live School Idol Project. So here... Would you believe me? One thing I will say about this is, would you believe me if I tell you that the 2 other spinoffs of this show, none of them tread the same ground? Like, they're all different. They all handle it in, like, a different way. Like, School Idol Project, the first one that we were watching for the Dart, is very much about, like, learning to blaze your trail, and the motto of Muse, the group they form, is making dreams come true together. And that's very much like the plot of Love Live School Idol Project.
Yeah.
And it's like blazing a trail, and there is... I'm not joking when I say this. I want to be 100% clear. This isn't a joke. This isn't a troll or a grift or a prank. I'm not going to be like, I gotcha. Love Live, the School Idol Project, the movie, is, without a doubt, the most intelligently written idol anime I have ever seen. And I have seen Perfect Blue. I am not fucking joking. It is a brilliantly written movie. It's like a metatextual analysis of the Love Live franchise, and it explores like concepts like artistic integrity and fan demands. It is actually brilliant. Not very entertaining, which is why I only gave it a 5 out of 10, but genuinely smart.
Oh, God.
Love Live Sunshine is completely different than like School Idol Project, where like Sunshine is more about like finding your own and walking in the shadows of giants, like very clearly walking in the shadows of giants, and like learning to recover from failure. Like a major plot in Sunshine is that like the characters are looking to like past idol groups like Muse, the cast of the first School Love Live cast, like these girls right here, Muse. They look at them and they look at like their Muse's rivals Arise, and they're like, we will never be as good as them, you know? Like, look what all they did. Like, there's a moment in season in Sunshine where the girls of Aqua, who's that show's group, like looks at where they are and how they have completely failed at everything they've tried, and said, you know, at this point, Muse had already saved their school. And like dealing with failure and learning to recover from failure is a massive plot point in Sunshine. There is a point where when trying to like enter into the Love Live competition, there's like a contest, and like Aqua is like, hey, like they put on a concert and then people vote for how well they think everyone did in Sunshine. And Aqua did not get one single vote. They got a 0. and it is all about like, and you like you saw them working and dancing and putting in the work just like you see in School Idol Project, and they just fail. And they fail everything they try. And like a big plot point in a School Idol Project is Muse is trying to save their school, and that's part of like Sunshine is they're trying to save their school, and they don't. They fucking fail. And it's brilliant, and they explore the failures and the impact of the failures, and they also kind of like delve into like leaving a legacy, like which is like reflected like the legacies that Arise and Muse leave, and Aqua's like, we have to leave that kind of legacy also. Fucking stellar. I cannot believe how fucking well made fucking Love Live is. It's so weird. The amount of effort they put into it is more effort than they should be putting into this content. But anyway, that's me gushing about that. Let's actually talk about Love Live School Idol Project Season 1. So basically, they get super into school idols, and they try to form a school idol project, and there is like roadblocks at every step. The school, like there's already a school idol club, so they can't fucking, so that's in their way. The student council president is just not about this shit, and they like try to put every stop to it possible. Their school's closing down. What you have to understand about School Idol Project is that what this is it's a sports anime.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing too. I'm not sportsy.
Well, have you seen like like the classic 80s like sports, like Mighty Ducks kind of shit, where it's like they're gonna close down the rec center. We need to enter into the local skiing competition and save the rec center. That's what this is. That is exactly what this is. That's the exact formula that they fucking they fucking put into this. Like, it's like the school is closing down, we need to save the school, and that's the plot of it. And then they have to go through their training arcs, and sometimes, and like the main character, I don't know if that happens in this season or if it happens in season 2, but like the main character like passes out from like overworking because she's sick, and I respect the hell out of the fact that instead of just having her like miss it entirely, like the contest entirely, they actually have the main character go out, and she actually puts on one show, and she passes out live on stage. And people are like, oh shit. And like I think like I forget if they even make it into the Love Live competition. I don't think they do. I think they don't even make it into Love Live in season 1. There's like some catchy jingles. I would talk more about Arise, but Arise doesn't become super relevant until season 2. But like they hint at Arise in season 1, but Arise becomes a thing in season 2. And let me just say this, John, when you get to season 2 and you see like, this is the top idols, this is Arise, and then fucking Arise declares war on Muse, and Muse, like, they hold a concert together, and you get to see what Muse is up with. Like, both the characters of Muse and you as an audience member see what Arise is, and you're like, holy shit, they are fucked. Like, Shocking Party is better than anything Muse had ever dropped to that point. Like, the rivals are dangerous, and there's a reason why even like later into like Love Live history, people remember the names of Arise, and there's so much heart in this show as like the girls come together. Like, you cannot help but love it and like love all of them. The biggest issue with all of Love Live, just the entirety of the franchise, like across all the seasons and movies, is that it's not long enough, because there are 9 main cast members in this season and in Sunshine, and I think there might even be 10 in Najigasaki. And the issue is that 13 episodes for 9 main characters is not enough time to explore 9 main characters.
Yeah.
Like, every character needs its own episode, and they need an episode with that character interacting with the group. The bare minimum, Love Live should not go under 26 episodes, and it is a consistent problem throughout the entire franchise, where you end up feeling like you understand the girls and you see that there's there's more to the personalities, but they don't have time to settle in with them or develop them enough. And so you end up like not getting a full grasp on who everyone is, and some of the characters kind of just blend into the background because they just don't have as like outreaching of personalities. And I mean, eventually over 2 seasons, which is the standard for Love Live shows, everyone does get developed, but they should be more developed to the point where they get their own episodes. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's understandable. I really kind of sucks about these shows, you know, that are short form. Like, you get involved with these characters, and then what are they gonna like? I want to feel more for this. I want to know more about it. I want to know the history. And I want to know the backstory. There was a lot of shows like that back in like the 90s where they would like debut these shows just to see if they would stick, and people would be super into them, but they didn't get the ratings they wanted, so they would just cancel. And you're like, well, whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to Nightmare Ned? I don't know. That's a throwback.
I mean, once you have watched both seasons in the movie, you can point to any one of these girls and like you'll know who she is. But you should know more. Like, everyone needs their own episode, and then everyone needs an episode of them interacting and their backstory. 13 episodes isn't enough. Is the problem. Like, even in season 1, if we were just analyzing season 1, which is the only part we had to watch for this dart, if we're just looking at season 1, it's still not enough. And if you, John, had finished the show like you were supposed to, and you had gotten to the end, you would know maybe 3 of these characters by heart, and you would know maybe 3 of them, and then the others would be like, oh yeah, it's that one. Yeah, she likes idols, right? Yeah, that's what I remember about that character.
I will make a promise to go back and watch the show.
Yeah, no, it's just a really it's a good show. I think I gave it an 8 out of 10. Now I will say that this is the second 8 out of 10 that has that I've given a dart. The first one was Black Bullet, which was the second dart ever. And has never appeared on this podcast. Now, what I will say is that I changed my rating systems like about a year or so ago. And so my original rating system, this would have been a high 7, so I would have given this a 7 like a year ago. But I decided that distinguishing between high 7s and low 7s and 7s and 8s and 6s is just fucking pointless. So low 7s became 6s and high 7s became 8s. So this isn't like a top tier 8. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is like a low tier 8, if that makes any sense to you.
No, it does, yeah.
It's like a 7+.
It's like a 7.9.
It's like a 7.8, 7.9, but there's no way to reflect that, so I just round up to an 8. Like, this is an 8 because I rounded up.
Fair enough.
If that makes any sense. Fucking now let me just say, I absolutely love Nico, and we said we were gonna do a Nico Ni, John, but I don't even know if you got to Nico in 2 episodes.
I did not.
So I don't know if you can participate in a Nico Ni with me.
I cannot, and I kind of forgot we were going to do that, so I kind of feel like it's a disservice to this episode. So we'll do a TBC on that. We will do that.
Okay, well, I'm going to do it right now. Nico Ni!
There you go.
You just cringed yourself into a fucking coma, and I don't give a shit. Nico is the best. There was a fan-made video about Nico versus, I want to say Natsumi from Doki Doki Literature Club. And it's like a rap battle fan-made thing, right?
Yeah.
And there's some really poignant comments that I totally agree with, which is like, when I watched it the first time, I'd only played Doki Doki, and I'm like, oh man, Natsumi fucking killed Nico. And now that I've seen Love Live, a lot of the top comments are like, you know, if you've actually seen Love Live, you'd realize Nico fucking destroyed her. And now that I've seen Love Live, Nico fucking destroyed her. Holy shit.
I need to play Doki again.
Yeah, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Natsumi enough, but like, if you've seen Love Live, no, Nico fucking kills in that one. I love Nico. I know she can get on some people's nerves. I feel like she's really underappreciated, and she's like the Squidward of the group. Like, she's genuinely underappreciated by not just like by like in universe, she's underappreciated. Like, they're interviewing like they're interviewing the members of Muse at one point, and Nico like tries to talk on the microphone, and they fucking snatch it away from her. And like at the one point, like the underclassmen all talk about how they like love and respect all of the third years, and Nico's like, "Huh? Y'all fuckers never loved or respected me. What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, we forget you're a third year, Nico." And she's like,
Bruh.
"What the shit?"
What the fuck?
And I'm like, "Oh, poor Nico. I fucking love Nico." Nico's one of the best girls in fucking Love Live, along with fucking Yohane from Sunrise. Yeah, no, if you get through all of like Muse, fucking legends. I'm genuinely, I shed a few tears at one point during season 2. It's good. It's a good watch, but it's season like School Idol Project is very much not the movie. The movie is its own fucking thing. Don't get me started on the movie. But season 1 and 2 is very much a sports anime. Sunrise, not at all. Which is why I said every like part of Love Live is its own weird thing. But it's very much like a classic 80s sports show about like saving the rec center by skiing kind of thing. And if you're not into that, I get that, but like School Idol Project is definite thumbs up for me.
All right, I will I will rewatch it. I'll give you the Nico.
It's like it's a very girly, and if it's not your thing, like you don't gotta force yourself into it. The whole point about John, the thing is, you're supposed to force yourself through the show for the podcast. If the podcast is over, there's no one forcing you to watch it anymore.
I gotta do it for my own self now. I feel like
your own self.
I feel like if you're talking about it in such high regard, I need to do it.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. The second bullet in Anime Dartboard was Black Bullet. Black Bullet is better. But
yeah, because we started on 3, right?
We did, yeah, Magical Warfare. The reason we started in 3 is I was doing it like monthly for Anime Dartboard, and then I hit Magical Warfare, and you can fucking guess how that went.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, you were there.
I was there. Fucking awful.
Here's what I'll say: if you fucking got through Magical Warfare, you can get through fucking Love Live.
I think it was just because it was more like there was like fights and stuff. I know I'm a fighty anime guy. No, I like the fighties.
There is no fighting in Love Live.
Yes,
there is a war declaration from Arise in season 2, but it's a "I'm gonna outsing you" declaration more than.
Yeah, I think I should have just sucked it up and just got through it.
Mm-hmm. In Najigasaki, a character throws a punch, but it doesn't connect.
I think I need to, even though I probably said this previously, I need to open my mind.
Yes.
I missed out on something good, it sounds like. So I'm going to go back and rewatch it, and I'll give you my Nico knee.
What I will say, season 2 is better.
Yeah.
But you couldn't just start in season 2, because you wouldn't have any fucking idea what's going on. Yeah. But yeah, I would say like you don't have to force yourself through it.
Fair enough. So, now that we got that out of the way, what is... Oh,
you remember how I mentioned I have an episode of Water coming up?
Yes.
I need to record the Najigasaki audio, because I just finished that today. Mm-hmm. I finished it about 40 minutes before the podcast started.
No shit.
So I need to record the audio for that, and then once this dartboard goes up, I'll have the episode of Water. You're probably listening to it right now, and if you are listening to this, it is probably already up on my YouTube channel. The next episode of Water will be the totality of Love Live.
All right.
I mean, not like season 1 because I just did it, but like season 2 onward. Get ready for that. I should have that ready by next week. So.
All right. So that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, Water coming. I did something weird with that one. Usually I just like do whatever anime I watched in whatever order I watched it in. But for this one, I specifically set aside all of the Love Live episodes so I could put it in one singular block and ignored the other anime that I've already seen that hasn't had an episode dedicated to it, and then I'll come back to that. I might start doing that in the future. I might start playing around with Water so that the episodes have more cohesion to it.
That makes sense, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Because, like, no one cares how honest I am about the order I watch things in, right? They just care about the presentation.
Exactly, yeah.
I don't know why I was so paranoid about this shit before. So I might start playing around to make better videos.
Yeah.
Still record the audio whenever I finish that specific anime, but then just place the audio later.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
Or earlier, whatever. So, yeah, I think I'm ready to throw that fucking dart.
Let's throw the dart. What do we got?
All right. Shuffle. Shuffle. Shuffle.
Da-da-da-da-da. Ozzy's in a pickle. What up, Barsic?
I thought that had 50 episodes. Did this leak in somehow?
I didn't put it there.
I figured. No, I might have fucked up.
Well, it looks like we're watching a long boy.
No, it only has 13 episodes. John, I'm sorry.
Oh my god. What do you mean you're sorry?
I'm sorry.
What is it? What do we got this? What am I gonna not watch next month?
This is what you're gonna not watch next month. This dart is Mamote Lollipop or Save Me Lollipop.
Okay.
This came out summer 2006. Studio Comet, licensed by Funimation. Hey,
On Funimation then.
Should be licensed by it. Genre is adventure, comedy, magic, romance, and shoujo. 13 episodes. Nina, thinking it was a lolly, swallows an object called Crystal Pearl, but the candy turns out to be a test for magicians. To retrieve the crystal, a special medicine has to be made, so now Zero and Ichi, the magicians, have to protect her from others while waiting for the medicine to be completed. This is directed by Noriyuki Nakamura, who
It's called
directed...
Save Me Lollipop, right?
Yeah, Save Me Lollipop, yeah. Who directed Dragon Slayer EU Dansatsu and Itsudatsu My Santa. I have no fucking clue what Dragon Slayer EU Densetsu is.
Sounds cool.
It looks like a thing. I don't know what this is. I do, however, know what Itsudatsu My Santa is because it is it is an anime that is based off of a one-shot manga by my favorite mangaka Ken Akamatsu, famous for Love Hina, A I Love You, Nejima, my favorite manga of all time, and UQ Holder.
I have no idea what any of that is.
Well, my favorite manga of all time is Nejima.
Okay.
And it's also my most I have a video describing what happens in Nejima on my anime channel, and it is the most viewed thing I have ever done. It currently has, let me just say this, the video is called Preparing for UQ Holder, What You Missed in Nejima, and it has 19,000 views on it right now.
Dope.
By the way, when I say that the Noriyuki Nakamura, who directed Mamote Lollipop, also directed Dragon Slayer EU Densetsu and Itsudatsu My Santa, I want to be very clear about this. That is literally the only things he's ever directed.
Those three things.
Just those three things are it.
What was his last one?
What was the last one? Let's see. This was summer 2006. Itsudatsu My Santa and Dragon Slayer. Itsudatsu My Santa was 2005. Dragon Slayer was 92. So this.
Oh, ooh, that does not smell good.
This is also by Studio Comet, which I have never heard of. They did School Rumble, which is I'm currently rewatching. It is like my 11th favorite anime of all time. But the guy who did this didn't do that, so don't get your hopes up. It's just the same studio.
I'm not.
Yeah. Initial D, which is very famous. Everyone knows Initial D. At least its soundtrack. Suzuka, Peach Girl. So a lot of like classic shoujo shit.
Yes.
Old Kirby show.
Oh, right back at you?
Yeah.
Oh, no shit. I do like that show a lot.
Yeah, Kirby, right back at you. Yeah. So okay, so it's a real studio. They even made something. I think this was in like 2019 or something. Robohachi. Yeah, 2019. So okay, the studio's still alive, I think. Oh yeah, they did Boy Boo Love. So they're still alive. They still exist.
Okay.
They do a lot of shoujo shit, it seems like.
Yeah.
Is Initial D shoujo? What the Initial D is the odd man out on this fucker.
Yeah.
No, it's Senin.
Yeah,
They do a bunch of shoujo shit and then Initial D for some reason.
My cousin got me into Initial D. We used to go play it at the arcade all the time.
Legitimately never watched it. Hey, you didn't have an image of Momode Lollipop up.
Oh shit, that's right. I forgot about that. Hold on.
Yeah, we can't go out without people having a rough idea of what they're fucking watching. Obviously, I'll create a post in Discord. I think I got this mixed up with another magical girl anime that existed in like the 90s or something. And that's why I thought this had like 50 something episodes. And the average mouse score for this is a whopping 6.64, which, as anyone knows, on Mal, a 6 means that it's a fucking coin flip.
Yay.
This is a 50-50 shot of terrible or hidden gem. 10,000 users, so that's not that many. So I don't know. I'm gonna go in here skeptically optimistic. I think the reason this came up on my radar in the first place is I think it's based on a manga, and I think I had a friend in middle school that read the manga.
All right.
I think that is my entire motivation for this.
Well, now everyone can see what this looks like.
That's such a higher resolution than the image on Mal, and it's so much cuter.
Thank you. I picked it myself.
Good job.
It's also the same one that's on the Funimation one, so that's what
I figure.
Looks nice.
I am skeptically optimistic. I am not expecting this will be great. I'm expecting a 5 out of 10, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes. What about you, John? There's a lot of red flags on this.
Yeah, it's I'll watch it.
I'll watch it.
I'll watch it. We'll see.
Watch us fucking come in next week and be like, so we watched Save Me Lollipop, and as it turns out, it's the greatest thing we've ever seen collectively. It's literally amazing. I cannot understand how anyone...
Naruto who?
Yeah, no, fucking the absolute best anime ever created.
I don't think I was gonna.
No, I don't think so either. The manga apparently only lasted 32 chapters.
Oof. Every time you open your mouth, like I feel worse and worse about this. But that's what Dartboard is. It's about feeling worse and worse and worse about whatever it is we may be watching. You know, because it could be a good one, it could be a bad one, could be a so-so one. Who knows? I could not finish it. Who? Like
statistically. You generally like the darts more than I do. You seem to focus very much on a sort of negative mindset. But as we went through the math at one point, you by and large give more positive grades than negative grades.
Yeah, I'm very lenient sometimes. If I can get into it and watch it, I'll be lenient.
Whereas I default much closer to the middle ground, but even mine is slightly higherly positive rated than negative rated.
Yeah.
So the fact that like we just did Love Live, which I described as the best dart we've ever thrown on the podcast, we're due for a not so great pick, I think.
Yeah, we're due for a stinker, yeah.
Yeah, you can't fucking drop fire every time.
Yeah, what was our last stinker?
Let me see. I would argue fucking Game of Lopless. But the one that we agreed was a stinker.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Yeah, because I like Game of Lopless. Yeah. I wasn't in love with it, but I was definitely in like with it.
Yeah. Let's see. Anime Dartboard. Let's see. Paranoia Agent. You liked that. I thought it was terrible. Aru Machine Gun. I think we both gave a 6. Game of Lapis. You enjoyed. Time of Eve. We both enjoyed. School Life. We both enjoyed. Boy and Beast. You enjoyed. Kaido Kaisatsu Pat Labor, I think we both had a meh feeling about that one. Wizard Ben Meshi, we both surprisingly like. Skycrawlers. Dart 4 was the last one we both universally agreed was just fucking terrible. So
the second one too, yeah.
Yeah, only the second and first Dart on the entire podcast has ever been universally decried by us.
Oh, well. Well, I guess it's time to say goodbye.
To that streak? No, honestly, I'm hopeful. Maybe it'll be good. I don't want to get down on myself. I watch a lot of shit. I have a very eclectic taste. I don't know. Could be great.
We won't know until next month.
We won't. Yeah, very soon actually, because we made the delay for the 4th of July, and then we made another delay, so it'll be on the 7th. So it's actually 3 weeks from now. There is a discussion that you might host that one as well, and you might just switch over to full hosting.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll keep you posted. I always place in my Discord who's hosting that month anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to be that inconvenient for anyone. I have to do. You're doing Digimonth, correct?
I'm doing Digimonth. Yes.
Oh, I should say. I think that's it for Dartboard. I don't think we have anything else to say about Momoto Lollipop.
No.
Because there's only like 2-sentence description on Mal anyway, so I don't have a lot to review on this. There's no information. We are going in nearly blind.
we will find out in like 21 days.
Yeah, I had a friend in middle school read it. Isn't exactly a lot to go on either.
I've never heard of it.
Yes. That is because this is the 500 and 330th most popular anime on Mal.
Fair enough.
So, I'm sorry, the 3,767th.
Yes, Digimonth. There'll be Digimon games, a whole bunch of Digi-related content. You see what I did there? Digi-related. Mm-hmm. Did you know?
Digi-content, if you will.
Yeah, Digitent.
That one's less fun.
Yeah, we're just abbreviating everything. We're gonna start with Digimon Adventure on PSP, the English translation, because thank you for whoever translated these games. But we're gonna play. It recaps literally the entire first arc of Digimon, including the movie. So that'll be fun to kind of go and play it instead of actually watching, because I've never played this game. It looks interesting. It looks really nice for a PSP game too. So I'm definitely interested in that. Shitty Game Sunday will feature Digimon World, the first one, because it's really bad. And then we're gonna and we'll kind of just play it out by ear. I downloaded a whole bunch of them. We'll play some of the fighting games. I'm gonna skip the card game. But yeah, it'll be fun. Digimonth.
I may actually watch Hibike Euphonium at one point. This is not part of Dartboard, and I will not be including this part of Dartboard, but I can't say it's a fun fact. It's an unfortunate fact. Hibike Euphonium is done by Kyoto Animation, which is, let's be clear, John, there's no debate. It is the best animation studio in Japan, period. Everyone knows it. Other animation studios even know Kyoto Ani is the top dog. I could show you footage from one of their shows called Violet Evergarden, and you would think it's movie animation, but it's not. It's just TV animation. Like, that's how good they are. They are so good that their TV anime looks movie quality, and their movie anime, fucking hell.
Damn. Would there be anything that I possibly would have seen by them?
Maybe. I'll read you out some Q&A shit if you want.
Yeah.
They are the big boys. They are the big boys. There's a statement like the anime community. Everyone wants to be Kyoto Animation. Okay, Kono to Kotachi, which is a silent voice. Violet Evergarden, Clannad, Chinibio, Hyoka, Kyoko no Kanata, Miss Kobayashi's Maid Dragon, K-On!, Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, Nichijou, Free, Lucky Star. This could literally go forever. Amagi Brilliant Park, Musu Seigen No Phantom World, Hibike Euphonium, Tomoko Market. My God, I don't think you understand John, everything I'm reading you right now is a classic.
I've never heard any of these.
Well, they're all classics. Air, Full Metal Panic Fumofu, Canon, Full Metal Panic just in general they did. Let's see. It just keeps going. It just keeps going.
We'll have to do something special for the 1-year anniversary in September.
Will we? Oh, the Inuyasha movies. I don't know if they did Inuyasha itself, but they did the movies.
I've never been a fan of Inuyasha.
Well, more free, air, more Full Metal Panic. Oh, finally something I've never fucking heard of.
Is Inuyasha technically an isekai?
It's a time travel story. I used to argue it was one of the first like major isekai stories, but then someone pointed out, no, it's a time travel story. And then I'm like, oh, I guess you're right. It is a time travel story, isn't it?
See, I'm using current terminology now, so I'm learning.
You are.
No.
Yeah. And then like some stuff. Oh, they did Witch Komogi. Honestly, we're starting to get to the point where I haven't even heard of some of this shit, and if I haven't heard it, you probably have not heard of it. Something called Moonto. Yeah, we're getting to the shit that's too obscure for even me to know about.
Yeah, that was the 100th episode.
You know what? You know why they might be considered the best fucking anime studio? Because basically everything I've ever heard of is a goddamn classic, and everything else that's on here, no one has ever heard of.
It's all part of the vault. Yeah, for the 100th episode,
100th episode, we review hentai, and then the podcast becomes weekly.
It's gonna be a while until that happens.
Yes, thank fucking Christ. What was it? 7 years, I think.
Yeah. But if it ever does get there,
you know, if this podcast goes for 7 years, I'm at that point. I'm just fucking down. Whatever.
we'll review hentai.
Yeah, fuck it. Well, I'll be on board. I'll make you watch Bible Black Gaiden.
All right. Yeah, I think by that point we would run out of dartboard, so it's just basically whatever Zach wants to watch that week.
Dartboard eventually, like we get rid of like the dubbing rules, and
oh god,
it's just like, because at this point you've been broken down, and now you're like, yeah, I'll watch a subtitle. I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, probably by that point. Yeah. Then I'll be like, you know what? We're gonna watch something that I know you're gonna. Hey, we're gonna watch some you.
Yeah, well, at like a certain point, it could even get to the point where like eventually I've dragged you far enough into anime that you start making darts also.
I think I would just make you. I would make arc darts. I'd be like, we should review the cell arc, the imperfect cell arc, and then we should review this. I feel like that would be fun, just doing arcs.
Well, the whole point about the dartboard is that with shit we haven't seen, so those wouldn't be eligible under current rules.
Well, I mean, like after the dart. I mean, eventually we'll run out.
No.
Maybe.
Let me real quick say that if we were to expand the rule, first off, we're at 84. John?
Oh, okay. So we gotta.
So if we threw every single dart and I didn't add any new darts, this would take us to episode. This is episode 11.
91.
Yeah, 94.
I got the math.
Well, it was 84, not including Save Me Lollipop. So it'd be it'd be 94. So if you think I can't add 6 darts in 7 years, you're out of your mind.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
No, dartboard will never die.
It will never die. Well.
Oh my god, I've seen exactly 777 anime.
And I've seen. I don't know. I should really keep track of it.
John, here's what I want to say to you.
Yeah, I gotta set up a Mal account.
Yes, I keep saying this. I want to be on a stream where we set you up a Mal account. Not like the password or anything, but like we go through anime you've seen and we like rate it and like we add it, and then I'll be like, here, check this out, and I'll like post some shit that I know you've seen, like the 90% of all of Dartboard, because I have tags on my Mal list for like dartboard specifically, so it's super easy to find the darts.
So maybe we can do a special special thing. Maybe that could be our 1-year anniversary thing. We'll set up my Mal account.
You know what? I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, there we go. Now we have it September. We'll do it separate from the podcast. We'll do that.
Well, a special episode. I'm down for that.
Yeah.
I'll also have finished fucking God of War at that point.
Maybe we'll
I
get
don't
back
know
to
if I'll.
Dark Souls.
Yeah. Once I'm done with that, I don't have to worry about the PS3 or consoles for a while, and I'm looking forward to that. I apparently my free time will probably continue to the end of the year, but I'll probably be super busy next year. So I kind of want to. I definitely want to stream more. No promises, but that is something I definitely want to look at. But what I will say is, if we extend the criteria of Dartboard to just whatever is on my plan to watch list instead of the hyper-specific criteria of maximum 13 episodes and dubbed, I currently have 542 anime on my watch list.
Jesus.
So, yeah, no, John, believe me. When you're like, we'll be out of darts by then.
No. At that point, we'd have to do at least twice a month.
Yeah.
We'll see. You never know. Maybe one day, the YouTube videos could take off, and who knows? Maybe we'll have to do it.
Oh my god, that would be great. But luckily, I watch anime in my free time and not just as part of Dartboard. So
fair enough. So I think that about wraps it up for the night. It's been a pleasure. It's been.
I actually didn't get to talk about what I'm doing next.
Oh yeah, what are you doing next?
So next up is God of War, then God of War 2, then God of War 3. By definition, those are getting grouped together, so I don't have to keep changing my shit around.
Yeah.
After that, now I am hoping for 1 to 2 streams per God of War. So it is possible I could be totally done with God of War by next podcast. Maybe not. I don't know. I kind of want to stream tomorrow, but I can't make any promises. I don't think I'll be able to stream Monday.
I think it took me about 10 hours to beat the first God of War.
Yeah, it's 9 hours on how long to beat or something. God of War 1 is actually the one I'm most worried about.
Why? That one was dumb easy.
So I have a deep, dark secret. I'm not very good at pressing buttons quickly. And the Hydra in the beginning of the game actually legitimately requires me to press the button faster than I physically can.
I'll have to show you my technique.
Oh, I have a technique as well.
Okay.
But I didn't know it when I played it the first time. Another problem with God of War 1 is the final boss is terrible and really hard. I'm going to remind you, the final boss, they take away all of your weapons and you have to fight with that dumb golden sword that handles like a fucking tank. You're wrong.
I beat it first try, and I did that a few months ago.
It is bullshit, and I hate it. God of War 2 and 3, not concerned at all. So after that is Baishoujo Senshi Sailor Moon, another story pending technical difficulties, where I actually have to get a fucking SNES emulator for this shit to properly stream this fucking nonsense. This is a made recommendation, a made request. Fucking.
I'm excited for that one.
I'm not.
I am.
So I'm expecting to get through God of War pretty quickly. After that, we have a big boy. Persona 2 Eternal Punishment, the final Persona game.
Oh. Thank you for reminding me. I also am planning on doing Persona 4. I did buy it.
Golden?
Finally. Yes.
Okay.
I did. Yeah, I did finally buy it. I got it on the sale a couple weeks ago. It was like $15. So Persona
you can
4
play my least favorite Persona.
Well,
main title Persona. My least favorite Persona is Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. People who know why.
It took you a month and a half to beat it.
No, there's so many reasons. There's so many reasons. It is. I legitimately think it there's some good ideas, and it is a fucking lore haven. The original Arena has so much good lore and tells me so much about how personas work. It's brilliant. And Lapras is an amazing character, and Elizabeth gets set up on a whole arc. And it's great. The problem is that it's just boring and presented in the worst way possible.
Don't even look at Marie. Fair enough. Yeah, so Digimonth there's a reason behind it. It's not just because I want to play Digimon games. There's a reason why I'm doing all this Digimon content all at once. I have an idea, and I need to work on the idea before I get rid of the idea, and it never happens. So that's why we're doing all this stuff.
I was going to say, can you share the idea, or is it a top secret thing we'll talk about later?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I have an idea.
Keep it under wraps. Don't get people's hopes up. Maybe something will come of it. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing all this, and I'm rewatching all the anime and stuff like that. That I have an idea for one of my favorite series.
You might like Persona 4, totally okay. Persona 4 they wanted to make a lighter-hearted game after Persona 3, a game where the main character dies at the end, and a 9-year-old attempts suicide.
I like that.
So they wanted to make a more lighthearted game. So they're like, "Hey, how can we make a more lighthearted game? Let's rip off JoJo Part 4." And it plays very heavily into anime tropes that you might not be super familiar with, so they might not bother you like they bother me. And also, everyone just kind of ends up where they like. There's the character arcs aren't very well done in 4 either. Like the things that bother me probably don't bother most people to the extent that they bother me. And also, I hate Teddy.
Everyone hates Teddy.
There are quotes. Here's 2 quotes that came around during the Ultimax playthrough. Quote 47, "Oh, Teddy, I wish I could just grab your head and drown you in that pool of water." Sacrabalic, 06/01/2021. And quote 48, 06/01/2021. Funny enough. "I want to cut Teddy open dick to face."
Thank you for contributing to Superman 64 playthrough. Which when we do hit goal, that will be played no matter if it's Digimonth, Midgimonth, or whatever month. Digimon month. Anyways, we'll do that.
Anyway, yeah, Eternal Punishment, Persona 2 Eternal Punishment, the final Persona game, mainline Persona game. Maybe we'll talk about doing like the dancing games and Q later on, because I actually have the capability to stream all of those. Then after that, Pachi did a game request, Undertale, specifically pacifist route, but I don't have to do true pacifist, so I don't have to beat it twice. I questioned him about that.
Okay.
And then Pokemon X, which is going to be a breath of fresh air for me. Because I'll get through the fucking Ultimax, God of War, Sailor Moon, Persona 2, and Undertale Gauntlet, and then finally I can play something I'm actually legitimately looking forward to, which is Pokemon X. And then I'm going to stop here because I have so many game requests next in the queue. Mac Tier's request of Digimon Next World Next Order, which technically I could have stopped at Eternal Punishment because there's no way I'll beat Eternal Punishment by next stream. But because you're doing Digimonth, I wanted to mention the Digimon game I'm being forced to play. So
I also have that one ordered too, so I will be playing that as well because that is the better Digimon World game. Like it's hard to say if you're gonna like it or not. But it is better. Like it's kind of like a reimagining of the first Digimon World. So you might like it.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. I liked it when I played.
Interesting character designs. Do I get to play as the girl?
Yeah, I believe you can choose between boy and girl. Yeah.
Nice. I always pick the girl.
It's been a couple years since I played it, but I just ordered it again for PS4.
I went through the weirdest period last night where I was like, man, I wish I was born completely female.
Yeah, but after Digimon, normal stuff we'll go back to normal stuff. We'll play Zelda, Sun. I don't know. There's games that I want to play. I have to get this. If I have this idea in my head, I have to go through with it, or it just never happen.
I get you.
So.
Yeah.
Content.
I actually think that is it. I think that is definitively it. I just thought it would be like there'd be some nice symbology. Symbology? There'd be some nice symbology talking about my required Digimon game with your Digimon.
Yeah.
So
maybe we'll play it at the same time. Who knows?
No, probably not, because Eternal Punishment is like going to be 30, 40 hours.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I should share my Sacrabalic channel because you got some new followers this time. So for once, I actually think there might be people watching who don't know who I am. So I'm Sacrabalic. I'm your Envoy of Hope. I play games you've never fucking heard of because my audience makes me. I just talked about all the games I have to play in the future. So at this point, you basically know what you're going to get if you check me out. But come check me out. I'm pretty fun. I'm very good at engaging with chat. That's like my number one thing. So.
And as always, I'm John, aka ConquertheJohn, where I play games that I want to play now because that is my motto on my channel now. I play the games that I want to play, and I take your requests, think about it, and then shove them right back up your ass, and then never play them again. That is not true.
I might actually have to start doing that. The more I think about like fucking game requests, the more I'm like, man, I hate game requests and wish I could just cut them.
No, I will. I'm doing game requests again. After I get through the Digimonth. We did Banjo-Kazooie last stream, which was a request, which I'll play fucking Banjo-Kazooie anytime. Request that. But we will get back into normalcy after this, after I get this out of my system. But anyways, it's been a fun stream. Thank you, Sack, for co-hosting the show with me as always. And we'll be back on August 7th with the next Anime Dartboard and next Cold Topic podcast. So for now, see you later. Stay safe, stay sexy, stay in San Diego because that's where we're jacking it. Good night.
Watch Save Me Lollipop. Bye.